What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. We are early. Figured we would give it a couple minutes and do a little extra overtime. Liv, what do you think of the white kitty bed there? Do you like that one or like the other one?
The darker one looks better.
All right, why don't we get E to come and switch it out during the break?
Okay.
Little pre-show. Figure we'd come on a little early, say hi, get everybody on. World War III. It was violent. It was so fast, I didn't even recognize that it was over. I mean, did you, Liv, how did World War III change your life?
To be honest, I had no idea it even happened until it was over.
God, I wish the Democrats would have given us a heads up because it was so fast. I didn't get to enjoy it. The carnage and all the horrible things that were supposed to take place. But now we can go back to burning cities, so that's good. That's a positive thing.
Always a good thing.
Absolutely. What do we got on the docket tonight? We're going to talk about Iran, of course. Duh.
Absolutely.
Duh.
You're fired.
Thank you. We're going to talk about Iran. We're going to talk about how liberals are stupid. I mean, that's really... I'm supposed to have some decorum, and I don't have any. They're stupid. They want so bad for America to fail under Trump that they were just praying that soldiers would have died today.
I know. It's just sad.
They want it so bad. You got to put that mic closer to you. It's
Okay.
too low.
Too low.
Yeah, you're coming in. It's got to be like, honey, it's got to be almost touching your mouth. And we've had this argument a million times. Up,
Yep,
higher,
yep.
higher. Stick it there, and you'll never go too low again. If you put it there, it'll never go too low. You can't have it. There's no such thing as too high. Too low is a real thing.
That's why.
What's that?
It moves even though I've tightened it.
No, it doesn't. There you go. Figure out. I don't want to hear any complaining about it. That's never going to move again.
Yeah, it's got to move.
No, it doesn't. No, it's going to
blocking
fall.
my face.
It's not right in your face.
It's blocking my face. I can't see.
Okay, then I don't want you to ever do it again, okay? Don't ever touch it again. Promise me. Promise me you'll never touch it again. No, like that. Promise me you'll never touch it again.
Yeah, I will. I don't. It just moves.
Now it won't. No. That's not moving ever again. Ever again. It's frozen in time. I am so sick of fighting with that mic. Let me see. There we go. You're right there. Give me a.
Testing.
Oh, so much better. Now everyone can hear you, honey. All right. Talking about World War, whatever. Talking about the bases that were struck and why. I'm going to go over the bombage damage assessment. That's right. The bomb damage assessment.
Sounds about right.
We don't have it, but I'm going to go ahead and walk you through it anyway because I've got the satellite pictures and that's really all I need. I can't cover Olivia's face. I know. I wasn't going to leave it there. What else are we going to cover, Livy? Anything else special?
I have not heard anything. I was at work.
Yeah. Well,
So.
we've got, I guarantee you we've got more.
Pretty sure.
But I don't know what else we're going to talk about. We're going to look it up, I guess. Let me go look it up. J.D. Vance was live on Fox when the World War III treaty was signed after the 7-second war.
I like that, the 7-second war.
You guys remember the 7-year war? Well, this is the 7-second war. We're going to go into Trump. Peace treaty. Does he deserve a Nobel Peace Prize now? I mean, is it yet? Guy keeps on winning, seriously. I'm going to show you a candidate in New York who is a Hamas-supporting loon bin socialist. Judge Clarence Thomas's birthday. We'll talk about the Coast Guard in Representative Anna Luena's district, and we'll talk about that. We already played this song. Can't do it
Yes,
again.
we did.
I don't have all Still Points music up. I can't play anything else. We're going to talk about how it was. What was it? It was the gay pride flag. Then it was the trans flag. Then it was the LGBTQIA flag. Then it was the Hamas flag. Then Mexican flag.
The Palestine flag.
And then the Palestinian
was.
flag. And then now it's Iranian flag. I mean, seriously, do they just shop at Flags R Us? Is there a Flags R Us that I'm not aware of?
Apparently. Maybe we should.
I know
open
San
that
Francisco
store.
has a Flags R Us minus the L. Nobody picked up on that. That's all right. It's fine.
Oh, okay. I think it was playing words. Got it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
You are fake news.
Got it.
So Nancy Pelosi says that the president could bomb whoever the hell they want. We'll talk about that. Show you some missiles that went off of the Qatari base, which was cool. I'll show you soldiers' reactions on the ground as they intercepted missiles. I'm going to show you a transgender weather guy. And it's going to be a great show. Let's just have some fun. 76 on. Let's share the shite out of this thing, please. Thank you. Like it.
Hey everybody, it's T.S. Dixon, author of The Woke Mind Viruses. And I want to tell you that I'm pleased to be part of The Dumb Show, the Don't Unfriend Me show that you can find every weeknight at 7 p.m. on social media at The Dumb Show or on their website, thedumbshow.com. See you there.
He did a great job.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia.
That's why it's always up, Liv. But don't trust the sound guy. I knew your mic wasn't going to
Coming
work.
to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. 100 plus on when we came on a little early, and this is a strategy. This is strategery. Hi, could you grab this bed and switch it out for the other bed? This bed's too white, and we're being racist. We want the brown bed. Why? Because we want DEI. There's another channel that seems to be coming on during my time. That's been my time for a long time. And that person is taking my time. And I am going to go ahead and come on a little earlier from now on in order to take their time away, because that's the way it works. Tim Pool. So welcome.
He switched to 7.
I don't think it has anything to do with me, but he is coming on at 7. And that is what it is. Thank you, Hayden. Appreciate you. There you go. That looks great. Thank you, McKenna.
Appreciate it.
Say bye. All right, so we've got a good show for you tonight. It's going to be a long one. I have a feeling. So it is good to be here just a little bit early. Adrian Jeanette was our newest subscriber and dummy, and she donated $51.99. She was our last donation. Tonight we're going for a goal of 300. We have driven over that goal each night this week, and that's great because we definitely need it. Olivia, you had something in regards to T.S. Dixon to talk about.
Yes, we now have his books for sale on the website.
There it is.
They are $10 plus shipping and handling.
The Woke Mind Viruses, right?
Yes.
And I would recommend this read for anyone who wants to understand the long game of the left, not the short game. We're talking about to understand why they do what they do, where they get their marching orders, where they get their motivations from, and what their ultimate goal is. This book is tremendous. I use it as a resource constantly. It has to be one of my favorite of all times when it comes to focusing on socialism and the deterioration of this so-called utopian society that they promise. So if you haven't seen it, do it. I have it on sale for $10. The book is normally, I think, $24.99 or $20, but TS did such a great job. He said, I'm going to sell them to you for $10. And I said, okay, great. Well, then I'm going to sell them the exact same price, and I'm not going to make any money off. If you're going to do it that way, I'm going to do it that way. So they're on sale for $10. I'm telling you, this book is worth $100, and you can get it for $10 plus $10 shipping and handling. Shipping and handling, I'm sorry, that price doesn't go down, but that is what we're talking about. Heather Zimmerman said prayers needed for Clark Mills, New York. They got hit with an EF1 tornado yesterday morning with 3 fatalities, 2 of them 6-year-old twins.
Aww.
Mother, I am told, is having a tough time. All of Oneida County is under a state of emergency, and many are clearing, including my brother. Cleaning up in Westmoreland, New York, the next town over. Many lost power and are still without power. We are also under a major heat wave. Heather, I am so sorry to hear that. Please do me a favor. Can you find the mother's GoFundMe, or whenever you guys do find that out, will you please let me know and email it to Olivia at the Dumb Show? We would like to send something to them if it's possible. So that would mean a great deal to us. T.S. Dixon's book, The Woke Mind Virus, is available. Vanna White, please. Available now at thedumbshow.com. You can also get coffee and shirts and everything else. We would love for you to go on over there and take a look. Any major changes to the set? Nope, this is it. It will be shown at the beginning of the show, and then when we take a break and play some audio segments, and occasionally we might pan out. This is just really for the beginning of the show. And also, when we have guests on, we'll probably do this wide of a panel in order to, see everything that's going on. So just FYI, I wanted you to know where we stand with that. I'm going to brighten it up a little bit dark. I'm still learning this lens, but we'll get there. All right. So what should we talk about? Name the movie.
That is Dark
What?
City.
No.
What
shall we talk about, Fräulein?
Oh, that's Indiana Jones and Last Crusade.
That's correct. It's a pity your fire is getting low. The amulet. Do you still?
That's
do you still
number
have
2.
it? No. It's Indiana Jones.
Is it? No, I know it's Indiana Jones, but I said Last Crusade, and I was like, wait a second.
No, that's number 1. It's Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's the Asian Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Asian Nazi.
Yeah, which really doesn't make any sense, but
That's funny.
it's a worthless amulet. Do you have it?
Yeah.
If it's so worthless, why do you want it?
Exactly.
Lenny B donated $21.99. The most informative voices in the game. Keep it up. Lenny B. Do we know who Lenny B? That's a new one, isn't it?
Yes.
Lenny, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. All right. We've got enough people. I think we're going to go. I think we're ready to rock and roll. We've had some fun. But the time for fun is over, folks. No more fun.
No more fun for at least 2 hours.
No more rhymes now. I mean it. Anybody want a peanut? So let's just go into let's just go into the big news, because this is huge news. Donald Trump just released. Liv's going to read it off.
Okay.
This is going to wipe me out like crazy. Oh, God. That's the one thing about 75-inch TVs. 2 of them, 4 of them. Holy shite.
Yeah, it's great.
Olivia, go ahead and,
All right.
and you do the context. Go for it, baby.
Congratulations to everyone. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now, when Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their in-progress final missions for 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended. Officially, Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire. And upon the 24th hour, an official end to the 12-day war will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful. On the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will, I would like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what should be called the 12-day war.
Congratulations.
This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will.
Fantastic.
God bless. Yes, fantastic. God bless Israel. God bless Iran. God bless the Middle East. God bless the United States of America, and God bless the world.
And we say bye-bye.
War's over. The 7-second war is officially over, folks. God, the casualties, the bread lines, the rubber drives, having to only do missionary sex, Livia. It's been hard.
It has been hard.
It's been brutal. But alas, we will find a way to survive in this tumultuous time. Thank
Yes.
God that it's over.
Yep.
I don't know what we would have done
Me neither.
if we didn't end this incredible war. Democrats, literally every single one of these obnoxious clowns,
Yeah, they are ridiculous.
just every second. Trump started World War III. 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 I mean, it's everywhere.
Of course it is. The talking point for the day.
Kayleigh McInerney just killed it. She crushed him on the 5 tonight. I'm actually going to show her, and I'm even going to show you the B2 hanger with the lighting system that I will not talk about. Then we're going to go through some of the bomb detail reports and the bomb damage assessment. But let's go back a little bit. Let's go back to the day of Miss Nancy Pelosi. And let's hear what she had to say about dictators circumventing Congress and orange Nazis starting wars without congressional approval. This is Rich. Here you go, Liv.
No, I'm listening.
So, Madam Speaker, or Madam Leader, you're saying that the president did not need authorization initially and still does not need any authorization from Congress on Libya?
Yes.
Wait a second. I mean, what did Libya do? I mean, we just bombed the living crap out of that with regime change. Certainly Joe Biden is going to go and give us just a little bit of insight. Let's listen to what Joe Biden says. He's going to bring it back down to the Constitution and reality here. Let's get this back to the 1973 War Powers Act. I want to apologize for Nancy Pelosi. There's no way Joe Biden on June 28th, 2021, literally 4 years ago and
Four 7 years ago.
4 years and 5 days ago, in an effort to form a perfect, here it is.
I directed last night's airstrikes targeting sites used by the Iranian-backed militia group responsible for recent attacks on U.S. personnel in Iraq. And I have that authority under Article 2, and even those up in the Hill who are reluctant to acknowledge that have acknowledged that's the case.
Wow.
I directed last.
Well, I guess Donald Trump's in the free and clear. The question is, Livia, this guy already should have got at least 3 Nobel Peace Prizes. He should have gotten 4 with pulling out of Afghanistan, with the Abraham Accords with 3 Middle Eastern countries, soon to be Saudi Arabia as well. But we know what happened on October 7th. And the only reason why the Iranians activated their terrorist organizations is to interrupt the talks between Saudi Arabia. So the question is, Liv.
Yes.
does the Nobel Society recognize Donald Trump this time and give him his duly earned Nobel Peace Prize?
Unfortunately not.
Son of a bitch, Liv.
He'll never be recognized.
Come
which is
on.
just a shame.
Why?
You're fired.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've been very nice to you, although I could probably maybe not be based on the way you have treated me, but I wouldn't do that. Don't be rude.
Seriously, Olivia, I think you're wrong.
I hope I'm wrong.
I think the Nobel body will unilaterally agree that Donald Trump deserves his first ever Nobel Peace Prize. No, it's not going to fucking happen. There's not a choice. There's not a chance.
No.
But I will tell you, liberals, like, how do you expect to win in 2028? How do you just pick the wrong side? You remind me of my child. No matter how many times I tell you, don't touch the stove. Don't walk around in the grass with no socks on. Take a shower every day. They step on a bee. They burn themselves on the stove, or they wind up smelling like a foot. Olivia, are liberals just in adolescence and in perpetuity? Will they ever grow up? Will they ever realize?
No, they're children. And they're children that never grew up. The temper tantrums. Wow, we're both having an issue talking today.
I'm doing fine. I don't know what your problem is.
The temper tantrums they've been throwing are very toddler-like. It's kind of like I go to my day job as a nanny where I watch toddlers, and then I come home and come on the show and watch the news and watch more toddlers have temper tantrums, because that's exactly what they're throwing. It's absolutely ridiculous. How did you get Nancy Pelosi to do that soundbite for you?
It's really easy. I just handed her a hammer.
That was AOC, right?
I handed her a hammer and gave her husband 3 martinis, and worked out just fine.
That's funny.
Congressman Massey, I told you Massey was a rhino, never trumping son of a gun. Didn't I tell you guys this?
Yes.
I mean, when am I wrong?
When it comes to politics, very rarely.
I told you Massey, listen, Massey's a great guy. He's a smart guy, but he's a piece of shit for the Republican Party. He's horrible. He never votes with us. He's horrible. And he's a lot like Rand Paul. And so I'm done with these clowns. Don't be Republicans. Run as libertarians. Run as independents. Kick them out of the party. Just kick them out of the party. It doesn't matter, because they're never going to vote for you. Thomas Massey hates Trump. He hates him. And Kentucky needs to pull their heads out of their asses and get somebody in there who's actually going to vote along party lines. When you have a deep red state like Kentucky and you can't get consistent votes out of it, that is a fucking travesty. Pardon my French.
Yep.
That is a travesty. We got 184 people on. It's wonderful to see so many people.
Nice.
Yeah. So Twitter is just crushing. Twitter's been huge for us. But honestly, it's Facebook that's crushing tonight. And Facebook's been leaving us alone. In fact, we've had over 3 or 4 million. We're ready to break to 240,000, and we've actually made a little bit of money this week. And they're kind of knock on wood, leaving us alone. So of course we're not going to see it. So let's listen to Kayleigh McInerney, what she has to say. This beautiful subject that she is. Very intelligent, very smart. Please ignore the B-2 bomber hangar and the lights above. Don't ask any questions, please. I
will not answer.
I will answer it. I'm teasing. It's not that big of a secret. Maybe I won't. Here you go. Watch this.
Today tried to save face, and instead they fell on their face spectacularly. And if you had any question if Iran was a rational actor, I believe the answer to that is categorically no. You know, this all began, the posture before Fordo was hit was President Trump saying unconditional surrender. Iran responded, we will never surrender. Okay, that's to the #1 power in the world. We are the world's hegemonic power here in the United States. So that was their answer.
Hegemonic, wow.
Then they were asked, hey, are you going to negotiate with the United States? They said no. And they said, and we will never end enrichment. We would rather have war. That is the posture of Iran. And then today, maybe it was an intentionally weak response, maybe not, but any response in my mind against the world's hegemonic power was going to end this way. And instead, what
Twice?
they got today, China's already left, Russia's already left. Well, guess
That's like word
What does
porn. In a
hegemonic
second,
mean?
that's like word porn for me. You know, seriously, any woman that can use big words, it's like word porn for me. You do it all the time
When?
when you say I'm huge.
who condemned the attacks. Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Egypt, Morocco, Jordan, Lebanon, Turkey, Yemen, and the Palestinian Authority. So you've literally lost everyone in the Middle East. Everyone except, I think, Iraq hasn't condemned it yet. Maybe they have. And I just want to say, lastly, just how wrong everyone has been on President Trump. You know, they
Yes.
said tariffs, the economy is going to end while the
Yes.
economy's still rolling along. Oil's going
End
to
of
rise
democracy,
while oil's
dictatorship.
falling. World War III is about to start. Well, instead, you've got the entire Middle East, it seems, set up in a posture where we may see more Middle East peace accords. So rather than World War III, we may get more peace. And rather than 34 felony counts, President Trump may end up with 34 Nobel Peace Prizes. That was for the left.
No, that's where you're wrong. He's not going. They're not going. The Nobel laureate will not give him what he deserves because then they would have to admit what, Liv? What would they be admitting?
They're wrong.
They're wrong. Liberals can't do that, Liv.
No. What does hegemonic mean?
A ruling political power, dominant power.
Got it.
Yeah. Joanne Townsend, $10.80. Thanks, Matt and Olivia, for always keeping it real. We always will. We appreciate you. To all the new viewers, we've got quite a few new people here tonight, so that's good to see you. So now we have this. Now, this is going to tie into it because here is J.D. Vance live on Fox, and I think he's on Brett Baier, and the peace deal for the 7-second war. It broke news. Like literally the war started and 4 seconds later, a peace deal was struck. And we're here for it. I'm here for it. I hope you're here for it. Here is the video of that.
Joining us this evening, Vice President J.D. Vance. Mr. Vice President, thanks for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Just seconds ago, the president went to Truth Social and typed this. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire.
Oh, those damn Jews. They did it again. Israel and their world dominance. Look at what they've done to us. They put us in a forever war that lasts 7 seconds.
Complete and total.
This is Zionism, folks. Zionism at its finest. I wonder if all the Jew haters are going to shut the fuck up now.
Probably not.
Nick Fuentes and Jake Shields and Stu Peters and Candace Owens and the Hodge twins and all the other douche plows. You were wrong.
Total ceasefire is what he typed.
Yep.
What does that mean? How did it come about? What's the development here?
Well, we were actually working on that just as I left the White House to come over here. So that's good news that the president was able to get that across the finish line. I think what it means, Brett, is quite simple. First of all, the president, without
Hi, Tina
knock on
Savage.
wood,
Hope you're doing well, sister.
having a single American casualty obliterated the Iranian nuclear program. We are now in a place where we weren't a week ago. A week ago, Iran was very close to having a nuclear weapon. Now, Iran is incapable of building a nuclear weapon with the equipment they have because we destroyed.
Sorry, Tina. I just heard your building was breached and 4 officers were hurt.
What?
I hope you're doing okay, Tina. It's okay. It's good to have you back. Call in if you can. Let us know what's going on.
It. So that's a very, very big thing. Now, what that means, I think, is we have to talk to Iran and, of course, to Israel about what the future holds. Because while we have obliterated the Iranian nuclear program, our hope and our expectation is that they're not going to try to rebuild that program. And I think that's what the president is really trying to figure out here, is to build a long-term settlement here to where we can have peace in the region, where our regional allies and, of course, the American people, most importantly, can be secured, but where we can ensure that the destruction of the Iranian nuclear program that has already happened is not something they try to rebuild.
I will let you know that Israel would not sign a peace deal unless those nuclear facilities were absolutely gone. Liv, do you agree with me on this?
Yes.
Because why would they?
Exactly.
They just bombed them this morning. I mean, Leroy and I were talking about it. But here's the thing. We did a video today. We'll probably show it on the replay if you guys haven't seen it. Obama's military strikes. Liv, I want you to read this out loud because it is daunting what this guy did.
All right.
So go ahead. Start off with
Obama military strikes. The year is 2016. Total of 26,172 bombs dropped. 12,192 in Syria, 12,095 in Iraq, 1,337 in Afghanistan, 496 in Libya, 35 in Yemen, 14 in Somalia. Too bad Ilhan Omar was not there when that happened.
Yeah.
And 3 in Pakistan. That would have saved us a lot of problems.
Great.
if
Can't
she
wait for
was-
the Secret Service to show up. Great job, Liv, with an inadvertent death threat about Ilhan Omar. I didn't say it. It's all her. When they come, listen, compas, I didn't do it. See? It was her. She did it.
Yep.
Wow. He did a lot of bombing, you know?
Yes, he did.
He certainly did.
He also gave 150 billion in cash in secret to Iran. But
Yeah. Well, more than that. The pallets full of cash. Yeah. 1.5 billion.
Gee, I wonder where that went to. Did we just blow that up? The 150 billion?
Well,
I guarantee we blew part of it up.
What I was going to say is Obama has to be massively depressed. His investment in nuclear enrichment power in Iran went wayside. So his stock just took a tumble today,
Yes, it
obviously.
did.
What a douche blow. We did this video earlier today. If you haven't seen it, we're going to go ahead and play it. And it's just about 4 minutes, and it should keep your curiosity. It's talking about the liberals, talking about their hypocrisy. What's new? Here it is. Enjoy. Good morning. Before we begin, I just want to make sure I get something straight. Trump authorizes precision strikes on 3 nuclear sites. These are underground facilities which are producing uranium, 2 confirmed to be enriching well past 60%. In fact, the last 3 years, they're up to 90%, which I don't know if you're following along, but that's weapons grade uranium. Really, not something you want to put into a toaster or a bus. And suddenly, he's now a warmonger. Maybe they could spare us just this once. This is exactly why normal Americans are tired of the media. The Democrats, professional pearl clutchers, and all the rest pretending they give a damn about peace or ever did. Where was this outrage when Obama drone bombed 7 countries in 8 years? Where were the sob stories on CNN when Obama launched 563 drone strikes, killing an estimated 3,797 people, including American citizens like Anwar al-Awlaki? No relation to Chewbacca, or his 16-year-old son. No congressional authorization, no UN approval, but hey, he had a Nobel Peace Prize, so apparently that made it all okay. 2 of them. What about Hillary Clinton? Does Libya ring a bell to anyone? Benghazi? She pushed for regime change, toppled Gaddafi, and laughed about it. Quote, "We came, we saw, he died." Those were her words. And what happened? Libya became a warlord-run hellhole and a breeding ground for ISIS. And Joe Biden? Just last year, he authorized a drone strike in Syria that killed 13 civilians, including 7 children. Well, at least he wasn't sniffing them this time. Pentagon called it an oops. Then they brushed it off and moved on. Not a single liberal outlet demanding that he be hauled off in handcuffs. No impeachment hearings, no indictments, no hashtags, just crickets. But Donald Trump, he hits legitimate nuclear sites, avoids civilian casualties, sends a message that America won't sit back and watch Iran build a bomb, and suddenly it's The Handmaid's Tale meets Red Alert. They also sent 6 B-2s to Diego Garcia, which is a 30-hour trip. Of course, the head fake went ahead and fooled everybody. We reported it. But what they didn't understand is that it wasn't Diego Garcia they were going to. Like we said, they went to the East Coast, they went dark, and then they went straight to Tehran, an 18-hour trip, 37 hours round trip, and bombed the hell out of these sites. No leaks, no issues, and of course, Pegvis was still ridiculed and mocked. SecDef can't do anything right, I guess. These people aren't anti-war. They're just anti-Trump, and they always have been. If Trump doesn't strike, the same pundits call him weak. Trump blinked. Trump chickened out. You even got the idiots online saying he's taco. Trump always chickens out. How about now? Like somehow restraint is cowardice anyway. When it's Biden who left $80 billion in gear to the Taliban and ran like hell from Afghanistan, what did we say? It's Trump's fault. If he does strike, it's reckless escalation. Trump's going to start World War III. They've been saying that since 2016, but guess what? It didn't happen. It didn't happen at all. You know what did happen? ISIS lost 100% of its territory. Soleimani got turned into ash on a Baghdadi tarmac, And North Korea stopped launching missiles over Japan. Yes, love letters and all. Compare that to now. Iran's proxies are lobbing drones at U.S. ships weekly. Houthis are blocking trade in the Red Sea. And Iran? They're racing toward weapons-grade enrichment, with IAEA inspectors being blocked or ghosted entirely. So yeah, he bombed their nuclear sites. Good. About time someone showed Iran there are consequences. And the strikes? No civilian deaths. No U.S. casualties. No drawn-out occupation. Just decisive action that shook the Ayatollah's teeth loose. The petulance from the left is exhausting. They love military action when it's their guy doing it. When it's Trump, they act like he personally set the Middle East on fire with a Zippo. These yokels are allergic to facts and addicted to outrage. Trump's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't. And he did, and it was the right decision. Folks, see you at 7 o'clock. Please follow me.
Olivia, do you want to hear something else cool that happened with this video?
Yes, I would love to.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, it's right about, where'd it go? Oh, so it was kind of a big honor. Is Dean Cain, Superman himself, shared the post with two big eyes and got to see the show over on X, and that was pretty cool. I thanked him.
Pretty neat.
He didn't reply,
but still, it's freaking Superman.
Yeah,
that's the Superman I grew up with.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So,
Dean
Kano. Last week they were antagonizing Donald Trump and you're a taco. You're chickening out. Because you're not doing. And then he does something, and now he's the devil. I mean, it just do they hear themselves talking? Do they actually listen to what they're saying?
No, I don't think.
Do any of them go home and hang their heads in shame and realize what pieces of shit they are?
No, they don't.
And I'm talking about politicians as well as the media.
I'm talking about anyone who calls themselves a liberal now. Didn't you remember I used to make that distinction? There was a difference between a liberal and a leftist.
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore. Nope, they're all pieces of shit. I'm sorry. If you support what's happening with your party, see, what's funny is you guys base it on predictive emotion. Donald Trump's going to start World War III. He's a dictator for life. Our democracy's over. He's going to take away all your rights. You can't get an abortion. He hates gay people. Transgenders are going to be hunted down and murdered. All this crap. And it's all just pontification and adolescent petulance. What we're upset about is you fucking people are anti-American douche plows, and you constantly just lie, and you project your inequities onto us. We weren't the party of racism. We weren't the party of the Ku Klux Klan. We weren't the party of Jim Crow laws. We voted more for civil rights than fucking Democrats did. There was no party switch. It took 3 decades for the South to vote Republican. Oh, well, it was a generational change. Well, that's not a party switch then, is it? It couldn't possibly be that the South became self-aware that racism and stupidity and ignorance and being poor was no longer okay. That they have been trying it since the postmodern era, since the great economic boom of the United States with its industry and factories, that slave labor was no longer going to work. They fought a war over it and lost and realized we better start innovating. And it took them almost 75 years to even scratch the surface of catching the North. And then once they finally did, from an innovation standpoint, the intellectual side, the school systems, the education, rooting out the racism that was inherent from Democrats in the populace, they grew up. Like all Democrats do, they become Republicans. They grew up. And there was a party switch. Okay. Derpy derp. Sorry. A little frustrated. I'm a little frustrated, Olivia. I've been
frustrated for the last freaking 9 years.
I miss the party. I miss the blue collar Democrats. I miss the blue dog Democrats. I miss the Reagan Democrats. Hell, I even miss liberals. Like, I would kill to have a liberal party right now because
honestly, it's kind of close to the GOP. We spend money like sieves. We want to get along. They're like, abortion? Okay, we used to really, really care. Now it's like, monkey see, monkey do, whatever. You just can't have late term. But I would love liberalism to come back because at least there could be a discussion. With this, it's how do you look across the aisle and look at these people and go, are you serious? You think a man can get pregnant? Is that what you believe? Do you truly believe that DEI is the best thing to create competition and to create a society that truly wants to move forward versus people that just say, my prerequisite to get any job I want is simply the melanin in my skin? Are you kidding me? I mean, isn't that reverting to racism? Isn't that what the Democrats truly are espousing is let's revert back to the days that they were most comfortable with themselves?
They're trying to make racism cool. They're still racist as all hell, but they're just trying to do it on the sly. And so people don't figure out what they're doing, but they still are freaking racist. Every policy they have is racist. It's ridiculous.
It's either racist or it subjects people to things that put them in indemnity and put them in servitude. That's the problem. You know what I mean?
Voting ID is racist.
Why? Because you're black. You can't get
black people can't get an ID.
Can't possibly get an ID.
Why?
But you need an ID for EBT and WIC and government and Section 8 housing.
Exactly.
And to drive a car and to get insurance and to cash a check or open up a bank account or go get a fishing license or go get your license registered or getting a loan or getting into a nudie bar and a titty bar. It's not important. But you get my point.
Yep.
I'm sick and tired of these people. And here is one. Oh, these TikTokers. I thought we were going to ban this shit. That is the one promise I wish Trump would go back on because I am so sick of TikTokers. Oh, God, these people. First of all, put some clothes on. Can't stand that.
In a robe?
Yeah, freshly showered. I mean, that's really, you know what? That's progress.
At least you showered.
Liberal showering.
You don't have dreads, and
I bet you could. I bet you could braid her armpit hair, though. I bet you $1 billion.
Dear Iran, this is my official application of states that you should wipe out because we did not vote for that orange Cheeto man over here in Los Angeles. Alabama.
Out of here.
Florida.
Out of here.
Arkansas.
Boom.
Oklahoma.
Get them gone.
Ohio.
No.
Kansas.
Gone.
Kentucky.
No.
Arkansas.
Red.
Tennessee.
Fire.
Texas.
Oh, double it.
Let me get my best friend out and then Texas. Okay, and my family and then Texas. Anyways.
Is she actively trying out for Twilight 4?
Yes.
Because she sounds just like Kristen Stewart, but with a Muslim accent.
And then Texas. Okay, and my family and then Texas. Anyways, I hope you consider this application and really take it into consideration.
All right, first things
application for what? I'm so confused.
She wants red states to be Iran to blow up red states.
Oh.
And to nuke them. And
does she have any idea what if they nuke one of the states? What's going to happen to frickin' her?
I don't know, but her lesbian brother.
I say his brother. I for sure thought he's catching in the relationship.
No. He's her boyfriend, and
that's what I'm saying. He for sure catches.
But Kayleen, I just want to let you know, Kayleen Savannah, that you have 3 names, and there's a rule about 3 named women, minus the ones present, of course. Is your boyfriend is gay as fuck?
Yes.
And homeboy you are going to catch him fucking the FedEx driver one day when you come home from work. I'm just letting you know. Just get prepared for that. And you're Muslim, which is really going to be awkward when your dad finds out. So enjoy your acid and stoning, and I hope your life is fulfilled. Nice robe, though. It's very high quality. Sorry about the language tonight. I feel like I'm cussing a lot. We'll be right back. It's commercial time, is it not?
Yeah.
We are early. No, it just feels like it is because
we came on early.
It's early. Well, whatever. Here is Clarence. Well, no, you know what? I'm going to go over and replay Trump's address. I want you guys to see something. And I didn't notice it until I played it again because, I'm a glutton for playing things. He's not her boyfriend. He is her BFF. Whatever. I don't believe it. It's her boyfriend. They're stooping. He's a comfort lay. I'm telling you right now. Here's President Trump's address. And by the way,
with benefits.
Yes, and it doesn't make the joke any good if you don't say that. So come on. Mary Francis says, hey guys, pop on when I can. Nice seeing all the upgrades and see that you're doing well. Mary from Rhode Island. Mary, stop by more. No reason only to come in once in a while. Olivia's not that bad, is she? Should spend some more time with Olivia. It's not her fault. Right, Liv?
Right. Thanks.
Thanks. I want you guys to see, this is a 3-minute and 30-second video. This was the speech that he came out and addressed the nation after they bombed the living shite out of Iran. I want you to listen to him. What do you notice? And I hate when Facebook and Twitter does this to farm engagement. So we're not trying to farm engagement, but what do you notice? Hey, is the missing person from Rumble here tonight?
No.
Oh, let me know when that happens. I really do like your new set. You are the best show ever. Thank you for the truth. Gene, thank you so much. I appreciate you. That's Gene, right? Jea. It's not Jeanne. It's Gene.
Gene.
See, that's just my ADD and whatever it is. I can pronounce words like multiplexic, but I can't fricking do that. Here is, just listen to this. And I want you to see what part comes out at you. And I'm going to let you know it's going to be pretty close to the end. So what we're going to do is not listen to the whole thing because we've already done it. Just listen to the last 20 seconds here. Listen.
Not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God, I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Did you guys hear it? Listen to when he says God. All right. This is huge. Listen to this.
Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God, I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. And in particular, God, I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America.
It sounded like he was getting choked up there.
That's right. That is absolutely right. And I heard that, and I started asking myself the question, what was it that would make him feel that way? Like, let's look at the gravitas, the gravity of the moment. What does it mean? So he's talking about whom?
He's talking about what happened in Iran.
Yeah, but he's talking about somebody. Who's he talking about? He thanked who?
God.
God. So let's find the lines of delineation and sinew between God and Israel and Iran and the Middle East. What do all those things have in common?
Well, Israel is the Holy Land, and that's where Jesus is supposed to return.
And we're end of times, right?
End of times, yep.
So people question his faith. They don't see him in church, right? Joe Biden went to church every Sunday. Yeah, and was probably one of the most amoral sons of bitch plows on the planet. But if he's talking about God, and that is where the end of time's supposed to take place, and it's the Holy Land, what level of responsibility do you think he puts upon himself for being possibly the catalyst that makes all of that come true in the Bible? What if he makes the wrong decision? What if he strikes the wrong place? What if one of those B-2s drops an errant bomb and it hits someplace where they weren't supposed to? What if they encroach upon airspace that they're not supposed to? What if they accidentally hit Qatar? What if they hit UAE? What if they hit Saudi Arabia? What if one of the B-2s is shot down?
Yep.
What would happen?
What if civilians would have been killed?
Right. So how much responsibility do you think he puts on himself, and how much stress do you think that must be? Because economic stress doesn't seem to bother him. Geopolitics doesn't bother him. All the hatred and anger doesn't bother him. But do we actually believe that Donald Trump might just be spiritually significant enough in his deference to God that he actually got emotional and thanked God truly in a moment of truly thankful endeavor?
You know, maybe it's because he's the only president since Reagan to actually do something for the betterment of our country and another country, as opposed to the betterment of himself. Because other presidents, Obama, Biden, even Bush, their decisions to go into other countries were because it directly affected them. It was for their own pocketbooks or for their own benefit or for their own something.
Yeah, exactly. You're on the right. You're on the right point.
This is not beneficial to him. This is, I think he feels completely responsible.
Right.
To help protect Israel. And he knows that if Iran can finish that nuke, they're probably going to nuke us or Israel or someone else. And
Israel
I think
Israel for sure.
Israel for sure. And I think he feels responsible. And I think it's, he's happy it's over. I mean, you've gone through something where it's so stressful.
Yeah.
And the adrenaline gets you and it's finally over and it goes perfectly and exactly as planned and you break down.
Yeah.
I think that's where he was at.
But can I add some context to this?
Sure.
Because I think it's deeper than this.
Yeah.
I think when you're a multi-billionaire and you've slept with all the best looking women and you've had all the cool things, all the cool planes, and you've had the most expensive suits, that something in your life is missing. I don't care who you are, because you and I were there in our life when I was working at Apple, that money was really no object. It didn't matter. We were set. And we knew it was just going to get better and better the longer I stayed. But still, happiness escaped us at times, because I truly believe that materialism doesn't necessarily fulfill existentialist beliefs or ideology.
No.
So I believe that Donald Trump is forever changed because of what happened in Butler. And that assassination attempt, I believe, he may have said, well, I believe in God, but I truly believe after that day, he felt that God protected him.
Well, how many times have we said there's got to be someone watching out for us with certain things in our lives where we're running out of hope and something happens, or it's happened a few times. We're like, someone's got to be watching him. I mean, it was a matter of if he would have turned his head earlier 1 second or later 1 second, he would be dead. And I think somebody was watching out for him that day.
And we say bye-bye
if he turns.
If he turns. I mean, it's because when he shot and he turned, and that's why it just grazed his ear. If he didn't look right when he did, he would be dead. And I think that can make a spiritual person out of anyone. I think a near-death experience will do that to you.
And not only that, but yes, you're 100% correct. You're right on point, folks. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. But you're right on point. I think there was just connective tissue between that moment where he felt like we saved humanity, because the only way that end of times will happen, and the only way truly it can happen with the advancements of technology, it's not going to be an invading army. It's not going to be a plague. It's not going to be financial ruin. It's going to be the one thing, a power that would resemble God on earth, which it's not. It's infinitesimal to God's power. But you get my point.
Yes.
Splitting the atom is
a nuke. Yeah.
Is a nuke. And by doing this changes. You notice how Russia is not involved in this? China doesn't want any part of this. Nobody wants any part of this. UAE, Jordan, Egypt, Iraq, Kuwait, Syria, nobody cares. Nobody. They're just like, everyone knows Iran is very close to where Pakistan and India were, where they just want to literally trade nukes in the night. And they're like, those people cannot have a nuke. We would never let some drug lord or diamond smuggler in the Congo have a nuke. We wouldn't, right?
No.
Okay, then why would you give it to Iran? Which is worth, at least the Congo smuggler is literally just doing genocide and trying to wipe out a group of people for no other reason than for business and money. But Iran wants to do it because they believe that the infidels need to die. All of them. Man, woman, and child. Why? You're telling me, liberals, listen to me seriously, with all the love in my heart, you stupid sons of bitches. You won't let people have guns in America who are ex-veterans or are they're veterans or they're ex-military of some sort or they're officers or cops. But even the layman who wants to go out and go pheasant hunting, but you want to give Iran nuclear weapons? What in the fuck is wrong with you people?
There's that is going to take
How
a
does
lot
that make any
longer than
sense?
a 2-hour show to answer that.
How does that make any sense?
When was the last time liberals made sense? They have never made sense. And especially in the last freaking 10 years. Since Trump walked down the escalator and announced he was running for president, the entire party went freaking insane. It's like the entire party got a lobotomy. And they are not thinking rationally because of it.
It's like the entire party lost their souls.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't have a moral compass. They don't have anything to be afraid of. So they have just surrendered to the sin. That's the best way. That they've just surrendered to sin. They don't care. They're eating the lotus flower.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't even think a lot of them are doing it for the money anymore. I think they're just doing it because
it's what's expected of them to keep power. Yeah. I don't think it's money and votes. I think ultimately they are expected to hate Trump, and they have created Frankenstein's monster, this ideology that's alive and well in the United States that Trump is inherently evil, and they can't stop now. They can't backpedal because it would be the biggest lie in world history. We lied to you. We told you he was this, but look what he's doing. You don't think people see this? You don't think voters are looking and going, Iran and Israel have a peace treaty after he just nuked he made us safer, and now we're safer than safe? We're safer than safe. You don't think they're going to see this, Liv? You don't think they're going to see through it, just like COVID and just like fucking bumbling Biden?
You would think. I mean, a lot of people
With
woke
all
up
due respect,
during the
that's
election.
a bunch of malarkey.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And why is that so?
Because not a single thing he said is accurate.
Go ahead.
I think a lot of people did wake up during the 24 election because Trump won. So I would hope that more and more people are waking up. I mean, the Democrats are just stepping on their own feet right now, and they're killing.
It's ritualistic suicide.
It is. It's exactly what they're doing because they can't get off their hatred for Trump, their TDS syndrome. They can't get off of it, and they are just contradicting every single thing they say. And I would hope that enough people are, even though they may not watch the news, or the only news they may watch is CNN or MSNBC or whatever, and that's just a bunch of bullshit anyway, but I would hope that they actually see what happens.
I will
see what is going on in the world and go, wait a second, CNN told me this, but this isn't happening. This is happening. And I would hope that the country is starting to wake up to realize that they've been lied to for the last 10 years. And I would hope. My concern is the youth. My concern is the kids who just graduated college, the COVID kids. that had to graduate. They didn't get a high school graduation. They didn't get a prom.
Yep.
That, you know, half of them didn't get a freaking
They voted
college.
for Trump, though.
Yeah,
They voted for Trump.
Did they?
Trump won the youth movement. At least he didn't win the whole youth movement, but more youth jumped to him than any other president since Reagan.
Yeah.
So he won every single demographic he improved on from 2020. That's just the truth. That's why he won by those 5 million. But listen to me when I say this. I truly believe the only way that this country will heal is that there will be a moment of what alcoholics call a moment of clarity, where there will be enough people on the left who will divert their energy away from the GOP and Trump, and it's probably when he leaves office. And they look at their party and they see them do the same thing to the next guy, whoever it would be. I think there's going to be enough moments in time where the collective generations align, similar to the planets. And they're going to cast themselves out of darkness and figure this shit out. That's the only, I didn't say it's going to happen. I said it's the only way.
Yeah.
You have to have a large portion of people who hate Trump go, what the fuck? I'm being played. He just went in, took out these sites, supported Israel, and he got the fuck out. This is the type of president they want. They want strong, decisive, a business leader. Look at the economy. Look at the stock market. Look at oil prices. Oil prices are better than they were yesterday. And everyone said there were going to be lines and we were going to be giving out coupons to get gas. Look at the 7-second war is over.
Yeah, I think the DNC is extremely confused. They don't understand. They can't look past their own hatred for Trump. I mean, look what they just did. They put David Hogg at the top of their freaking party.
David turned on them.
And he's freaking going nuts
They
always
voted
was.
him out. They voted him out.
Did they? Good.
It's not good. He was the only one challenging the DNC, and he said, I'm going to primary all of you idiots. Hogg actually had some basis, and he's like, you stole it from Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg. You stole it from Bernie Sanders with Hillary Clinton, and you all deserve to be primaried. You lost to Donald Trump. Why should we put money into these races that you people have no chance of beating Trump? They fired him. It's not,
because anyone that questions their narrative is bad, and now they're going to call him that he's a Trump supporter and he's an orange man.
I actually support David Hogg. You know, I don't like him. I think he's a petulant little shit. But at least he stands by something that isn't crazy. He doesn't want to ban all guns. He just wants anything with 30-round mags. Do I agree with him? No. But at least that's not fucking insane.
Yeah.
At least that's a place we can have a conversation and debate and have some discourse. Just like abortion. If a liberal comes up to me and says, listen, I don't believe in 9-month abortions. I don't believe in late term. I don't even think out of the first trimester. I think it should be 16 weeks and the big 3, rape, incest, and life of mother. That's a conversation we can have. That's common sense. That's a good basis. I don't like David Hogg, but I'll tell you, compared to the rest of these wackos, he seems sane. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Folks, we'll be right back. Folks, we only have $32.79. I know it's a good show. I know it's interesting, but we can't forget to donate. We got to pay for all of this. By the way, in regular legacy media, we have 100 people on, 88 on Facebook. That's a record for the first time in months. Usually we were having 150 to 175, but now it's 88. I think we're pushing past the algorithm. I've been really hitting it hard, making a lot of posts, getting back after the build, and a lot of stuff is shooting through the roof. We've had 3.7 million interactions in the last 2 days. That's the most I've seen in almost 3 months. So support us, please. Help us out and see if you can help the Don't Unfriend Me show. Small donation helps. This little video is going to tell you all about it. This is our pee break video, folks. You'll love it. If you haven't seen it, watch it. And if you have, then go pee. Here it is.
Hi, I'm Olivia Spear, host of The Dumb Show. For 3.5 years, we never asked for donations, but after Facebook demonetized us for speaking the truth, we've had to turn to the one thing big tech can't cancel: you.
I'm Hayden, Matt and Olivia's daughter. This show's never chased sponsors or sold out. We've built something honest, and it's thanks to you.
I'm Ethan, their son. Every share, every dollar, every message, you're the reason we can keep calling out the BS and bringing color back to the world going gray.
If you want to help, we take PayPal, Venmo, or snail mail. You can send it to P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142.
Can't donate? No problem. Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored. You can donate at thedumbshow.com/donate.
You know what happens when you turn the dial harder? You can make a harder grimace. The harder you grimace, the more effective it is.
You tighten it so frickin' I can't do it. I can't untighten
That's what she said.
That's what she's. Oof. Oof. Coming in with it. Pound it. Pound it. Pound. Good
Child
for you.
that's 15.
Ethan, you need it. You look like a hippie.
Totally tubular.
You know this is recording, right?
Okay, let's go. Smile. Donate. Don't start with me. Donations. Every time you don't smile, I'm gonna punch you in the ribs. Donations. Take one. Scene one. Ready. Set. Ethan.
Break.
Ready. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
Ethan, don't mess this up. Ready. Set. Action. No. Whoa. Director calls action, not some stupid toddler.
But we've built something.
There's no but there. Why do you've been doing this since you were 2 years old. Try it again.
Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
He's so much better than you at everything.
Better at all
Hayden,
of us.
he's just like, even, it's just, go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored.
That's a wrap. Well done, Spear family. I bet we make no money.
But I'm gonna owe them money without.
Hayden, do your thing again.
Oh yeah, cut it.
Baby shark doo 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 doo. Whoa.
I don't know what happened there. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. You're watching Olivia Spear and myself, Matthew Spear, are here tomorrow. Who do we have?
You and Leroy.
Yep, Leroy and I will be here, and we will be on at 7 o'clock. Currently just got done watching the video. If you haven't had a chance, please go pick up T.S. Dixon's book. It's on sale now, $10. $10 plus shipping and handling. If you've not had a chance, please go order it and take a look. It is one of the best books. T.S. Dixon is a good friend of the show, and we got these especially for us at this price, so please go over and take a look. We were just talking about Donald Trump, how he did his address, and when he mentioned God, his voice cracked, and he just seemed to be overall emotional. And I think this man carries a very large burden. And although you may not love him and you may not appreciate him, he loves you. And I think he truly cares about every American. And yes, there are people that he's hard on, and yes, there's people that he challenges. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't want the best for Americans. I believe he does. But yeah, that's my thought. So Clarence Thomas, his birthday. Liv, you know who Clarence Thomas is, right?
Yeah, he's Justice.
Yep, he's Supreme Court Justice. Do you remember who appointed him?
Reagan?
Yeah. Do you remember who opposed him?
Democrats?
Yeah, that's true. Joseph Hillstrom, $10.80. A little something to help keep the best show going. Thank you. $43.59. A little bit slow on donations tonight, but I'm hoping we're going to get better. Joe Biden led the Senate confirmation push and hatred for him. And this man is, I've never had a chance to meet Justice Thomas. I believe I will. For some reason, I just feel like he's a man that I will meet sometime in my life. Frank Wood, 2110. This show is why I always be loyal to you. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Frankie. We love you, buddy.
Oh, and we just got a book order. Linda Clark, thank you for ordering T.S. Dixon's book.
You're absolutely going to love it. You use the dumb 10 code on the book. All right, that cost me $1. You know what? I'm not worried about it. I want everyone to have, that's fine. You want to use the code dumb10 on that? Use it. Save yourself $1. I paid 10. I just lost $1. I don't care. It's worth it. And Linda, I'm teasing. Don't you dare return it. You deserve it. Use code DUMB10 on that, folks. If you have a 20 code, use it. It's worth it. T.S. Dixon is a good friend of the show. I have a feeling that T.S. Dixon, in my gut, just letting you know, and the relationship that we've built and talking to him is that he wants to be more involved with the Don't Unfriend Me show. And I could see TS maybe coming on and hosting a lot more frequently, or him and I doing a long form show. I'm just letting you know. And how cool would that be?
Matt and TS in the morning.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. So anyway,
With
go
your morning coffee.
Yes. Go pick it up. Here's Justice Thomas, and this is a great video. Give it a watch. Oh, I got to refresh that. Sorry. Guys, I don't know why this happens, but
It's X.
No, it's my software.
Oh.
It doesn't update our totals for some reason. I got to figure out why. I'll call Streamlabs and find out. Anyway, here it is.
He has a chance.
I'm just a civil servant.
I know he. Lance Eder retired. He got to be looking for some work a little bit. No,
but you're a funny guy. What do you do? You just sort of stand around and photo.
Linda, don't you be sorry. I'm just teasing. Please, that's just my sense of humor. In no way, shape, or form do I care. Actually, it put a smile on my face if you watch the video. It does not bother me at all. Enjoy that. Don't be sorry. I was just joking around.
No, I'm calling with TMZ.
I know you. I'm just giving you a hard
Okay,
time.
man. We love your work, though, man.
You crack me up. Did you go to NYU?
No, my sister did. Great school.
Was you at law school there?
No, she did. She did journalism also.
Yeah,
but
it's
she
a wonderful school.
Yeah.
So you go around bothering people?
No. Actually, we find interesting people. What did you have to eat? I know you like steak dinner. No. Come on, man. Come on.
He seems like he's a good sport.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, he's just the hatred that they've put on him, the shit that he had to go through to get confirmed. And this isn't the first time they've called for his head. The Democrats hate him. And it's simple. It's because he's black.
And he's not on their side.
What other reason could it be except that he's black? And because they went after Amy Coney Barrett during the conference.
Sorry.
You went after Amy Coney Barrett during the confirmation. Good girl. There you go, Ash. Hold on. Ash is going to go lay down, I think. You go in your bed, dog. Whatever.
Go in your home, dog.
So the confirmation, they went after Coney Barrett. They went after Kavanaugh. Gorsuch. They haven't done that to him. They haven't done it to Kavanaugh. They haven't done it to Coney Barrett afterwards. It is simply going after Justice Thomas. Every few years, they go after this guy because he's black. What else could it be?
I have no idea.
A black educated man. Oh, Ash heard the doorbell. Lay down, baby. Ash, lay down. Oh, God, she's gone. Go get it, Ash. Go get it. She was going to lay down. We got to get these cats to lay down, for God's sakes. Oh, we got a donation. Don Messimer, $20. Thank you, Don. We appreciate you so very, very much. That puts us at $84.69. Waiting for that to drop off so we can switch gears here. All right, good enough. Maybe Yenny will find her home. This is Zoran. Didn't Adam Sandler make a movie, Don't Mess with Zohan? JD Stillwell, 2721. Great show, good times. Big thanks to anyone who can donate, like, and share. Thank you so much.
Maybe?
We just broke 100. Or at 111.90. We're a third there. Thank you. Yeah, Don't Mess with Zohan.
Yeah, something like that.
Put her in her bed, will you? Get in your bed, cat. Go back in your bed, cat. Do it again. People will love this. They'll love this routine. Go back in your bed. Back in the bed. Back in the bed. Out of the bed. Back in the bed. Do it again.
It's like, I don't want to be in the bed, Mom.
Go in the bed.
Oh, you're getting heavy, cat. That's just lay right here. Come here. There you go.
Just leave my gun alone, okay?
There you go.
Ash is back here with us. It's funny, we bought him these beds and they don't use them. Ash is back here under our feet, so there's nothing we can do. All right, so let's go into this. Zoran is his name. Zoran. Sounds like Zoran the Magnificent. What was the name of the thing in Big where you put the wish in? The Zoltan.
Zoltan. Yep.
The Zoltan machine. So Zoran Mamdani. He thinks the NYPD should be removed specifically from high crime areas. This guy is running for mayor, and he is a douche plow. He has no chance. But he is a socialist, progressive, Hamas-supporting Jew hater. Let's see, 148. CJ Jenkins donated $36.55. Hi everyone. Hope everyone had a good weekend. CJ, thank you so much for your donation. That puts us almost halfway there. 148 to our 300 goal. Thank you so much. Let's listen to this guy. And I'm here to tell you, this is good luck trying to comprehend what the hell this guy is thinking. But this is what liberals keep pushing forth. AOC and Island Omar rejects. I'm surprised he's not wearing a keffiyeh.
So are you, do you think that we have to almost do without
Get her, Amy.
policing in certain areas which are labeled to be high crimes to have alternative bodies? Do the policing in a more compassionate, more merciful, more social, assisting and helping more than arresting and putting in jail?
I absolutely think that what we need to do is give support and funding to institutions that are trained to deal with these kinds of issues. As you said.
Somebody ban Christabel Cooper, please. I don't think Amy's on. She's on Facebook, please. Cut her loose. She's right there, Liv. Get her.
I got her.
Get her ass. Wait, no. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, someone else got her.
Okay, here we go.
Cat stepped on my.
If you're having an argument with someone and there's a risk of it escalating, who is better positioned to de-escalate it? Someone who is well known in the community, or someone who has been trained specifically in de-escalation, or a stranger who has a gun? And we see so many situations where encounters with police, the police arrive and all of a sudden the tension rises even astronomically to what it was prior. And I think that we need to say and ask ourselves, look at how policing is done in the suburbs, in wealthier, whiter America. When people make mistakes, the answer is not to throw them in jail.
No.
The answer is not to, put them in a cage and throw away the key. The answer is to try and find a non-carceral solution.
Absolutely.
Community service, something where, they learn from their mistakes. There's a sense of accountability and growth, all these kinds of things, which for many people in this country, especially black people, are not offered the same opportunity.
I always find it interesting when Muslims come in here and try to tell us that the best way is peace and harmony and to try to all get along and sing Kumbaya. What happened to cutting off their hands or removing their tongue or putting them in with a bag of rats? Isn't that the shit that they do? What about throwing acid on the faces of their women or beating them with a cane? But when they get to this country, all of a sudden they want to put their arms around them. What they want to do is they want to degrade society. They want to tear down our way of life. They want to remove our laws that would restrict them from doing whatever the hell they want, which is to replace it with Sharia law. They want to make their religion the dominant religion in the United States. Well, there's a reason why we don't have a language differential in this country that is focused on one single language. Although Donald Trump says that English is the official language of the United States, which is fine, we are a melting pot. We don't have one uniform religion. We don't have one uniform ethnic group that is superior to all others. That's what they want.
Yeah, I'm amazed he sat down with a woman. I'm very
well. She's in her proper garb. That's why I'm surprised she showed her face. Still,
even then, they don't respect them.
I know. I'm not defending these people.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm just surprised. But yeah, no. Someone from the community in high crime areas needs to stop the crime. How the hell is that going to happen? If you're from the community, you're part of the freaking problem.
Yeah. So this is a video. This is Mr. Cole. He is a data security, cybersecurity expert. And I didn't have a chance to watch this, but I wanted to. And these were his big concerns. It wasn't war.
She's nesting.
Is she on her bed?
No. Oh, yes, she is. She is doing it on her bed, yes. This is her nesting. She's been starting this the last couple of weeks, trying to like make things
She's going to
comfortable.
lay down on that sign and pop those letters off. Watch, because she's going to plop. Go to your bed. Go lay down in your bed. We're not watching you. Go lay down in your bed. Look at Yenny. Yenny laid down. You go lay down now. Go lay down. No, leave Yenny alone. Go lay down. Ash, go lay down. Go lay in your bed. No, don't leave. Oh, you moody bitch. That's my dog. Her and I get along really well. All right, so cybersecurity expert. And I didn't watch this on purpose because he doesn't believe it's an economic issue. He doesn't believe it's going to be a spiritual or religious thing. He believes that cybersecurity is Iran's biggest. Paul Rivera, I got 50 on it. What will Dems do now without World War III? $51.99. That puts us at 200 flat. We're $100 away. Thank you so much, guys and girls.
Oh, and Miss Debbie Boggs ordered the book as well.
Oh, cool. So, $2. Did you use the code, Debbie?
I didn't see.
Did you use the code? That's okay. Use the code. Use the damn code. I'm serious. It's worth it. Like, if I could give everyone on the show that book, I would. But I will tell you, I have a good feeling we are getting closer to announcing a possible get-together. I talked to Still Point last night. It looks pretty good.
Really?
That Still Point. And Matt will come, the original basis for Still Point, to possibly play as well, because he's in Virginia now, and I didn't know it. So I've already talked to John Fugue, and we have the distillery, and said that we are more than welcome to use it and put everyone on stage and have whiskey and ice cream and food trucks and play cornhole and horseshoes and all that type of stuff and just mingle in the Virginia Blue Ridge Mountains. I think it's going to be September. It looks really good.
Yeah, September's good weather.
So get ready, mark your calendars. But I think the first Don't Unfriend Me gathering will be in September.
Well, is Chuck going to be able to come out for that one?
I think the first September, it will be September, I think. He said August, but why can't we just make it August 27th or September 1st? But either way, it's going to be good. So we want everyone to show up and we want everyone to have a good time. We'll talk about what it looks like as far as cost and all that. If there is going to be any cost, there might just not be any. But I'll tell you what, if you get to come to Virginia, spend the day with the Don't Unfriend Me show, go to Tammy's Diner. We're going to rent out
the kids and the puppy and the kitty.
Yep. We're going to rent out Tammy's Diner, take everyone to breakfast, have a huge show. Then, in the afternoon, we'll do something together local, and then we'll go to the distillery and we will listen to a Still Point concert at night and drink whiskey under the stars in Virginia, have some cigars. Fuck yes. Tell me, that wouldn't be amazing. So this is our next big thing. So hang with us. All right. So I want you to watch this video because it is about cybersecurity. Arthur Sheehan. These are two new ones. That's new. Arthur, thank you for watching the show. $21.10. A lot of new people followed today. Almost 1,000 followers in the last 24 hours. And it seems like Facebook is allowing our show to get out there a little bit. We're sitting at around 85, 90 people. 109 on Twitter. That's good. Rumble is rocking. So's Wimkin.
54, yeah.
54. So it's a good night. All right, here we go. Let's watch this. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Okay.
How would you assess the United States' readiness for the kind of cyber escalation that Iran is likely to trigger at this point?
The good news is we are on high alert. So if you look at our critical infrastructure, they have increased their cybersecurity capabilities.
Oh, it's
the
Paul.
The problem is
it's Paul Sheehan. Oh. Same thing. Sorry, I didn't recognize the name Paul. Love you, buddy.
What we call soft targets. What we mean by soft targets is our critical infrastructure, water, gas, transportation, and nuclear are all run on older computers that are not up to date and have vulnerabilities and issues. So while we are on high alert, the reality.
Matt, we need to get you on the show. You need to get your ass out here, dude.
Is he on right now?
I can't believe dude. I am going to put you on blast. You came to Virginia. You're
you
45 minutes away from me, and this is the first time I've heard of it. I don't care how bad things were. I don't care how crazy things got. You come to my state and you don't tell me, you, young man, are are in trouble. Paul's first name is Arthur. Now I got it. And Matt, I'm just kidding. I love you, man. More than you know. More than you know, buddy. I just want to see you, and I hope you're doing well.
Is we are vulnerable and open to potential attack if and when the United States decides to engage in the war.
Given where we are right now, what would you recommend are steps that need to be taken?
Unplug the internet.
By the administration right now?
First and foremost is we have to make sure that top executives in the government are properly trained in using secure communication devices. As you mentioned, we have already seen many issues early this year where the head of Department of Defense, Homeland Security, and others are using personal devices with known software like Signal to communicate very, very sensitive government information. If I was Iran and I want to target the U.S., that would be my first target. Go after personal devices of these high-ranking individuals. So we have to get that secure and locked down. Second, we need to take a lesson from Iran where they're disconnecting from the internet. And maybe we need to start going in some of our critical infrastructure that shouldn't be connected to the internet. We need to start disconnecting and doing what we call air gaps.
You're gonna have to explain that one to me in layman's terms.
Yeah. So here's what he's talking about is air gapping. Air gapping is where you have a system, a server, a computer, which is local only, that has never touched an internet connection. It's never connected to the internet. It has no access to the internet. And essentially, it is a secure computer. Did we lose Matt? Matt, are you okay? Yeah, bro, I'm here in Waynesboro. My bad for being late, letting you know. Matt, we love you. I'm not upset with you. If I don't give you shit, it means I don't like you. We got to get your ass. You're 45 minutes away from me. I expect to see you at least once a month, dude. We got to fucking hang out.
You got to come to Tammy's,
You're
dude.
you're a brother, dude. You're like, dude, get your ass out here. So I got a downvote. Oh, fat finger person. I'm all for having secure systems that aren't connected to the internet, but that's not going to stop it. It's not just cybersecurity, but it's also internal security, the operational security. Our systems are outdated. It's not just politicians. It's the amount of people who have access to secure programs. It's how we go ahead and how do we start limiting the amount of access to information? That way, when a foreign asset accesses the information, it's something that readily slaps us in the face. I think it gets lost in the nuance. We have so much intelligence coming in that is being unprocessed and unfiltered and untouched that it makes the ability to do cybersecurity even more difficult. The government needs to be on its own secure access and network. And a lot of them do. These systems rely on each other and are on secure networks and secure systems. I do agree that having politicians who are lackadaisical or high intelligence officials lackadaisical with their security is a threat, but that's not going to give them codes to the water mains and the nuclear sites. These are brute force attacks. These are DDoS attacks. These are hacking and virus attacks where people are stupid with their internet security and open up, phishing emails or open up Trojan horses or, take their work home with them on an unsecured network. All of these things can ruin the integrity of the systems. So do I feel that Iran is going to go after our infrastructure when it comes to cybersecurity? Of course, because they haven't stopped doing that. But I think Iran understands that they have been set back 40 years in their strength. Their terrorist network is essentially neutered. Their defensive capabilities and anti-air are completely neutered. The only thing that the United States left them and Israel left them is their Navy, because that is their only form of defense. And if you take away their Navy, which are essentially pontoon boats and skiffs and a couple, cutter class ships, Well, then now you leave Iran vulnerable to attack from another country. And you don't want anyone invading Iran either, because you want to protect the people. So I don't think Iran wants to continue this process. I think that they feel that holding on to their regime is probably the only chance that they're going to get to remain in power. And that's going to take 100% of their focus. Because honestly, if they blink, Israel is going to kill the Ayatollah. And they already pretty much wiped out all of the IRGC upper echelon. Like the entire Air Force for Iran, every single one of their officers were all murdered in one night. And the IRGC and the intelligence corps, most of their officials were killed. Israel literally wiped out Iran in a matter of 12 days. So I think Iran is going to lick its wounds, pull back, screw a camel or a sheep or two, and put a woman on a fire and
throw some acid at her.
Throw some acid at the bitch and then move on. So I think people need to pull back a little bit and yes, be concerned. Yes, be frosty, but I would be more worried. Right now, I've been saying this forever. I said the number one threat in the world is Iran, and the number one economic threat in the world is Taiwan.
I thought that was China.
That's why it's Taiwan.
Oh.
Because if China takes Taiwan, China becomes the technological superpower in the world.
Got it.
Taiwan with their semiconductors, their chipsets, their processors, they are far superior. And we are about 10 to 15 years away from being able to keep the workload. We've got to hold on that long. But right now, our focus should be putting as much money as we can into Taiwan.
You have a question.
And ensuring that they have the strongest and most robust naval defenses possible. If I was the U.S., I would park a carrier right off Taiwan, and I would ask Taiwan to put a base there, and I would make sure that the COM 7th Fleet makes it a part of its bi-quarterly routine and port of call. I would put the USS Blue Ridge there. I would put the entire, I think it's the Nimitz. Maybe it's not the Nimitz. Maybe it's the Ronald Reagan. I don't remember. But anyway, put that entire carrier group right there in Taiwan and have them go from Yokosuka to Hokkaido up north, and then come around to Taiwan and tell China, if you fucky, you're going to find outie. What's that?
It is from Just Sherrill on Rumble. If EMFs can cause a plane to crash, would a cyber attack do the same thing?
So you're talking an electromagnetic pulse, right?
I would think that's what she's saying. Yeah.
Not EMF, but an EMP. I just want to make sure, because EMF is also an emitter frequency that is a radio signal. So I want to make sure I clarify. Are you talking about an EMP or an EMF?
It says EMF on the question.
I know, but I want her to to clarify.
Gotcha.
Thank you for wishing Dad a happy birthday, Matt and Olivia, on Saturday night. It means a lot to us. We're going through it, and that is a memory we were able to share with Dumb Nation. Many thanks, and keep up the great work. Thanks, buddy. With Iran's government so weak, could the people possibly overthrow the government? Listen, the IRGC is very, very large, and there are 30,000 IRGC soldiers, and they would have a very difficult time holding it. I believe that the Iranian people could overthrow the Shah, the Ayatollah, the mullahs, but could they? It's not the Ayatollahs, not plural. Shah, Ayatollah, clerics, and the mullahs, that they could overthrow for a temporary status, yes. But think of Operation Valkyrie. You might be able to hold Tehran, but then you have IRGC in Syria, which is untouchable. They don't have a navy. They don't have Air Force. They don't have any type of vehicles. The Israeli people are officially pretty inept at defending whatever they would take. Now, they could do it with sticks and rocks for sure. There would be massive casualties, but holding it, it would be difficult. So not anymore. It's more of a religious country now. I don't know what we're talking about. What did they say? EMP or EMF?
EMF, and I haven't seen
All right.
Either is what they said.
So what we're saying is an EMP. So I will tell you this, and I can't go into a whole bunch of specifics, but most systems, and I can only speak from an intelligence perspective, which essentially, if it's in an intelligence skiff or JIC, it's going to be the same in government services buildings, power and water, and things to that effect would be the same because it's government, it's federal. So the systems that we have in place have multiple redundancies, which would mean that there would have to be multiple EMP strikes in order to take them out. But not only those redundancies, there are certain types of material and hardening efforts done on the circuits and the power centers for these servers and these buildings. And I will tell you that the power and data centers that are here, I can't go into specifics, but there are hundreds of them. Olivia will tell you, drive through Virginia, and we are the data center for the world, or for the United States. These systems have been upgraded mercilessly in the last 5 years. The older data centers have all been retrofitted. And do I believe an EMP would cripple the United States? It would hurt and we would lose temporary, but we have redundancies in place, and most of these are EMP hardened. As far as an emitter frequency to bring down our aircraft, there aren't any that can bring down our aircraft. Even our aircraft are shielded against EMPs. Most of our high end, the B-2 bomb. Well, I can't go into specifics. I will just tell you. Sorry, that was stupid. A lot of our aircraft are shielded, and especially the next generation fighters, the 5th gen fighters, they're all EMP shielded. I can't go into specifics on which ones, but I'll just tell you that they are shielded against EMP. And a lot of them have been shielded for quite a long while after the Cold War, when nuclear holocaust was a possibility, is a lot of these planes had to complete their mission. And without the ability to have Typhoon class and have a lot of boomer subs, we were ramping up to make these. We had a lot of fast attack boats, but we didn't have a lot of boomers. Well, we went up on scale and created a shit ton of Typhoon class submarines in order to do early strike, early war weapons, where shielding was massively important for our B-52s to be able to reach areas even after nuclear proliferation or first wave of attack had already taken place. I hope that answers your question. But as far as EMF frequency or emitter frequencies bringing down our planes, no. Christine Clark donated $21.10. Thanks for the show. You're welcome. Angie asked if we got her donation.
I looked on PayPal. That's what I was just looking, and I don't see it unless the email's coming late. But I just checked PayPal and I don't see it. So I'll just keep checking.
OGN Jen says, I mean, it was possible in Iran before it has been overrun by corruption in religious sectors. Same thing happened in England. I see what you're saying. The zealots are extremely powerful in Iran. I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about the 36,000 IRGC military, and predominantly the air forces of Iran that are proxy in Syria that haven't been hit, that have the ability to spin up and use QRF against any insurgencies. Plus, Tehran and Iran overall is a very mountainous country. It's very much like Korea, maybe not from a moisture standpoint, but certainly from a topographical standpoint. And it is very difficult. It is very much like Afghanistan. And any insurgency would have to find and eliminate columns of troops. I don't foresee it. But what I do foresee is maybe along the border with Jordan is there's a possibility that certain sectors of coastal area of Iran now, because of their inability to amass from an air standpoint, where they could take a section of southern Iran or possibly western Iran or even northern, if another country ran proxy, which would mean that they would take over a city, a province, and then be resupplied and fortified with foreign assets. It's possible. The chances of it are pretty slim. But surprisingly enough, if the Ayatollah needs to go, the IRGC will kill him. And they'll blame it on the Jews. So it's really a moot point.
Did you see Rachel's question?
No.
How much should we worry about sleeper cells here in the U.S.?
As much as you should worry about anything that could happen to you in a live fire situation. Do you worry about going to the mall today? Do you worry about going to Disneyland? Do you worry about flying on a plane? If you worry about that today, you should be worried about it yesterday and tomorrow. If you weren't worried about it then, I wouldn't worry about it now. I would be very surprised if Iran does anything, even proxies, to attack the United States on our soil. I think Afghanistan and Iraq learned that fucking lesson. And unless they want 375,000 dead whatevers, they probably won't want to do that. I think Iran doesn't want to mess with Trump. And we know that because they gave warning to this before they launched the attack. They told Qatarian government and called them and warned the United States too. We're going to attack. We're launching 6 missiles. Here's the trajectories. Here's what we're going to do. And they do that to save face. So the public can see these missiles take off. They can see, that they're raining fire on the American bases, when honestly, all that Iran wanted to do was to do that as a flagpole situation. They are just running up the flag. And that's why Trump said, okay, hope you guys got that out of your system. It's over now. And then there's a peace deal. Iran doesn't want to do this anymore, because I will tell you this isn't a Ukraine versus Russia. The United States has spent the last 50 years perfecting its art of destroying nations in the Middle East. They know how to do it. They know how to do it well, and they know how to do it without putting boots on the ground. Afghanistan was a completely different situation. Because you were fighting the Taliban, who essentially were the Vietnamese who had already fought the French, and they had been fighting Russia for 20 years. They were hardened as well. Iran is not that. Iran does not have a war fighter mentality. They are cowards. They use IEDs. They use terrorist and Klakov vests. They hold villagers with Kalashnikovs. They are not the Afghani regulars and the Taliban. And if Iran wants to get froggy, I believe the United States could essentially wipe out 9 cities in Iran in probably 72 hours and kill every military leader, including the Shah, the Ayatollah, and the mullahs. And then whatever they don't get, the Shias and the Kurds and the Sunnis are going to kill each other, fighting for territory once those are eradicated and we pull out. So I would not worry. A lot of people, I see one person in chat saying, who the hell are you? Well, considering I was a Middle East expert for the United States Navy and intelligence, I think I'm fucking qualified, but you tell me. Here is my $40 celebratory donation at the end of the World War III. Thank you for having the most comprehensive information of anyone I follow. And by the way, I didn't get the rest.
And by the way, your new set looks marvelous.
Oh, man. Thank you, Curtis. It's good to have you here. So I wouldn't worry too much about an Iranian attack. You might get some proxy in the United States. I seriously doubt it would be Houthi-driven or Hezbollah. More than likely, it would probably be a group like ISIS-K or some remnants of Al-Qaeda. I can't even imagine that any of the current groups, IRGC, Houthis, JIP, Hezbollah, would enter the United States and try to do that, because they don't want to see their country blown off the map. But ISIS-K, they have no fealty to anyone. They have no host country. So they would more than likely do something. But would they do it for Iran? Probably not. Everyone hates the Iranians. They hate them almost. The Iranians are hated almost as much as the Gazans are hated. Can I just say it? That's what I think. Okay. Anything else?
No, I don't see anything.
I'm afraid of Antifa as I am Iran here. Jessica, here's the thing. Antifa, every single person in the United States should conceal carry. And if your state allows it, and allows reciprocity and allows castle doctrine, then you should arm yourself. That's what I'll say. So sleeper cells would FAFO if they do anything U.S. soil. Well, the thing is, they can't do anything of magnitude to stop the U.S. government. This is why you shouldn't worry. Yes, you might get caught up in some sort of mall attack or an explosion. It's possible. Or a chemical attack. Yes, it's possible. But in the scheme of things, should that worry you? No. Just like you don't get in a car and go, you know what? This is one of the most fatal things. And between 1 mile, I have a better chance of dying than 30 miles. And everyone says that over a certain timeline, a fatal car accident is simply a matter of time and probability. You don't sit there and go, I don't want to drive today. I'm not going to get on a plane. You know, you simply just, you overcome your fear and move on. And you use deductive reasoning and logical conclusions to realize that the odds of you dying in any of them are astronomically huge. The same is true of you being isolated into an Iranian attack, because simply if Iran can't fucking attack Israel and do any damage, what makes you guys think they're going to be able to do it here in the United States on a bans list where any chemical that's more than a cup is on a bans list and a watch list? And you will have the ATF and the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security if you go try to buy ephedrine or buy ammonium nitrate. These things are extremely, the attacks that have taken place have changed because Oklahoma City and 9/11 changed that. And when those two attacks, and the USS Cole changed that, and the first tower attacks changed that. And Bahrain attack changed that, Marine Corps base. The United States is learning agile. It may make mistakes in its intelligence collection and its predictive analysis, but it's very good at learning where it fucked up and fixing it. So the chances of some major attack are slimmer and slimmer the more we thwart and the more that we overcome. So can 9/11 happen again? It's really difficult. Could the Oklahoma City bombing happen again? It's really difficult on U.S. soil. And unless they smuggle in some sort of suitcase nuke or dirty bomb, there's a really good chance that they can't. So I would just have people relax. If you try to run a sleeper cell, it's just like an active shooter. They may kill some people, yes, but that active shooter is going to get put down. So if an Iranian terrorist or ISIS-K comes in here and a few guys have, you know, AR-15s, they're going to fucking die. And more than likely, they're going to be shot by a cop or an armed citizen. And in a fight, in a mall, or in a closed space, I'll take a handgun over an AR-15 any day. And I think anyone would tell you the same who know what they're talking about. In a close quarters fight that doesn't have long line of sight, I'll take a pistol every single day of the week. I can pie a room better with a pistol than an AR any day of the week. So that was it. Olivia had a question. What was it?
Brian has a question.
What is Brian's
I
question?
don't know. I just asked him. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Wanda Reed just bought the book as well. So thank you.
Nice,
very much.
Wanda. That's 7
Wanda.
left, folks. We have 7 left, and I might reload, but I can't promise these prices, right? So it's $10 for T.S. Dixon's book. We'll get them all sent out next week. We want to sell them all, and then I'll ship them out. I have a lot more to go, folks. We're at 284.33. I think the next bout of coverage that we're going to do, which is breaking down the satellite imagery and the bomb damage assessment that I'm going to tell you about, is probably going to be the best segment we have. So if you haven't had a chance to donate, please do. Just a quick commercial break. We will be right back.
The Dumb Show is built on real conversations, raw, unfiltered, and fearless. Big Tech didn't like that. Facebook pulled our funding, tried to shut us down. But for over a year, you, our incredible viewers, have kept us going. Your support, your donations, your time, it all matters. Most of you spend 10 plus hours a week with us.
I got Brian.
Compare that to Netflix, maybe 5 hours a month. We believe we're worth that time, and we hope you do too. But listen, we don't want giving to feel like a burden. We want it to feel good. So take a second to ensure you're in a good spot. If you're in a place to give, that will be amazing. If not, just liking and sharing helps more than you know. Visit thedumbshow.com/donate. Whether it's PayPal, Venmo, or Mail, every bit helps to keep us going. Dumb Nation, we appreciate you more than words can say.
We sure do. Thanks, everybody, and also appreciate the donations coming in. OG2NV donated $1 through Super Chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank you very
that.
much.
Nice to have your comments on here. They were saying today that Trump is now pushing for regime change. Is this true? If so, I don't like it. It reminds me too much of the Iraqi war. and what pulled us in the first place. History doesn't necessarily repeat, but it rhymes, and it kind of worries me. Well, history does repeat itself, especially those who are doomed to forget it. What is past is prologue, although Shakespeare, not my favorite, but is a good quote. What is past is prologue. So I'm with you. Does this remind me anything close? No. Weapons of mass destruction. Is nothing like this. Iran has been working towards nuclear weaponry and armament since 1980. And the Israeli government has set it back decades at a time with its assassinations, sabotage, and disinformation that they have used through the IDF and Mossad. And they are excellent at it. And they are excellent at it. So there is no doubt that Iran is enriching uranium. We know the thresholds at 60% have moved up into the 90% range, and within 12 days they can enrich plenty of uranium to be weapons grade, and that would give them enough to create the nukes that they desire. This does not remind me of that. And no, Donald Trump didn't say anything about what do you want, Kat? No, I don't want you right now. I loved you earlier today. Go get your mommy. Leave my microphone alone, shitface. Come here. What a stinker. So what I would say is this. What Donald Trump said is that he doesn't agree with regime change. Oh, I'll just get the quote. So what he said was verbatim. He said, it's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? MIGA, make Iran great again. Trump is just trolling, and he's just pissing off the liberals. This is what he does. So no, Brian, don't take it seriously. We don't want anything to do with Iran. Does it need to be overthrown? Sure. Could it be worse? Yeah, you would have IRGC militant commanders who have no problem exterminating Jews because that's what they're programmed to do, to be in charge of their government. And we all know what a military-led government looks like. You have Iraq, not good. You have Libya, not good. You have the Congo. You have Bosnia, Herzegovina. You have so many examples. Syria, military-led. You don't want a military-led country with a bunch of religious zealots. It's just not a good mix. However, if an insurgency can create enough opposition and enough disruption, and it's local, I think Iran and Israel can be good friends. I truly believe that. If you can get the Ayatollah and the Shah and the clerics and the mullahs out and ultimately exterminated or castigated out of society by exile and stick them in wherever else they could possibly go, I don't really care. Probably Russia, because Russia takes everybody nowadays. I believe Iran could do very well with Israel and become a part of the Abraham Accords as at least not a participant, but an unqualified observer. Kind of like Ukraine could be a member of NATO without being a member of NATO. I think Iran could simply do a lot. Everyone says it's the Jews that create instability in the Middle East. It's the biggest fucking lie ever. The Jews are the most Western-based civilization country.
They're the scapegoat.
Second is Israel or Iran. So if you can get Iran out of zealot and religious leadership and empower the people, there are a lot of sympathetic people to the Jews in Iran. That is how they have literally screwed over that government and destroyed so much of it, is because they had so many sympathizers and insurgents working for them. Brian says, that's good. I'm wondering about how we got the intelligence about their uranium enrichment. The timeline on this, as you said, over the last 40 years. And it was always prefaced by our months, weeks, or days away from making a nuke. But Brian, the thing that people leave out the most out of that, and Livia is going to go take her potty break. The thing that is left out of that is every time they got 10% away or 20% away or a few days away, the Jews went in there and set off a freaking bomb, or hijacked 7 of the scientists and executed them, or did sabotage, or did cyber attacks on their reactors and melted them down. Every single time the IDF and Mossad and another group that I can't talk about did the work to ensure that they set them back 5 years or a decade. This is the thing that people don't understand about the Jews. Is that, the Jews do nothing for us. They don't have any war. But that's not based on the U.S. instructions. The Israel didn't get involved in Iraq because they didn't want them as a target. Iraq was already attacking Kuwait, and they were launching Scuds into Israel. Does everyone remember the Patriot missile and how they were hitting Tel Aviv? And they were hitting the Golan Heights, and they were hitting Jerusalem? Well, they were doing that and instigating against the Jews, but they were also instigating against Muslims. So we have to be cognizant of that. So when we talk about, well, they've been doing it the last 40 years, and they seem to constantly say, oh, well, it's going to be next time, or it's next time, or it's next time. Well, that's because the Jews went in and hit them. The only problem is that the money that was infused in them during the Obama campaign and giving them $150 billion and $1.5 billion in pallets full of cash, that goes a long way. And you can upgrade simultaneously multiple locations, multiple refineries, multiple at the same time, and it becomes very difficult. You can harden security. You can buy better quality systems. You also have China and Russia feeding Iran. So they couldn't keep up with these things. And Israel was finding itself lacking. And these also, they were fighting a multifaceted war for the last 2 years. Multi-fronts. So Iran was using its proxies to keep the Jews busy, and they were able to focus on their nuclear enrichment programs. The United States didn't go in and do anything because it's fucking Biden, and he was just going to sit on his hands. So this is all geopolitical, and I could do this all night, and I could answer every question you have. That's right. OG and Jen says you can also double that money, and they doubled that money because they were selling Shahed and Fahid drones to Russia. They were selling energy to China, so they were able to send troops into Russia. So whatever they needed was supplied to them by 2 superpowers, pseudo superpowers. So Iran became extremely powerful very quickly once the sanctions were lifted by Biden, and it allowed them to not only run proxy, multifaceted wars against Israel with different proxy groups, but it allowed them to focus on their reactors and how they could make them stronger. So that's going to answer your question. Okay.
Karen Eschenbach also ordered a book.
Nice. We're down to 6 books. 255 on in general. Folks, we are cracking the nut. Twitter has been going off. 141 on Twitter, 31 on YouTube. That's good to see. 84 on Facebook, holding strong. How are we doing on 51?
51.
And then Wimkin as well. So no problem, guys. Brian says, thanks for breaking it down, Matt. I honestly hadn't heard from anyone what you're talking about right now. Well, that's because people don't want answers. They want talking points. They want to explain why the Jews are responsible for everything that happens. Now, I'm not saying Israel isn't responsible for a lot of the shit that happened in Iran. Honestly, the United States is, and you can take that back to England. The 1960s and 70s, they literally made Iran the enemy number 1 of the United States and used us by proxy. That's the English. You can thank Margaret Thatcher for that. And you can thank the English for that, of why Iran is where they're at. Why does Iran say death to America? Is it directed to Western society? Never heard death to Russia. It's absolutely to Western civilization because we're the infidel. That is what happens when you have forever wars in Iraq and Afghanistan and Libya, in the Sudan, in Egypt, when you're bombing Somalia in North Africa. The United States has done a lot of damage to the Middle East, and we are considered to be the devil. We're the great white devil. So, but understand this, when the civilians say death to America, it's kind of hard not to say death to America when you have a gun to your head. When you have the Shaws and the clerics who are sitting in their F-150 trucks with a high-powered mounted machine gun on the back, and the crowd is gathered to show a feign of support, and they're handed out flags and they start lighting them on fire, and then the whole scene is played out. Now, are there people who hate America and Iran? Of course there are. But are they generally good people? Yes. But I will also tell you the people who are shouting death to America then go up to the news crews or then go up to any ambassadors or Americans that are in the region who are attachés and say to them, yeah, we really love America. We don't want to harm anyone in America. So you got to understand. Thank you so much, Angela Zirkelback. $21.10. That puts us over goal.
We finally got your donation. It took us a while.
305.43. We would love to keep going. Yeah, you convert to who's in charge in time, Jen just said. That's absolutely right. And this is the same thing we saw Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein, had the entire country seeking bloodlust for the Americans, but we're surrendering to CNN news crews and saying we love America and pulling out American flags. Well, that's what happens when you have a totalitarian regime. Victoria Spillman donated $21.10. Thank you. 326.53. Let's drive this thing out of the park. We've got a huge segment to do, and it's now time to do it. I'm going to move on. I would love to talk about the Middle East and Iran. Iran was my AOR, one of my AORs. Am I an expert in Middle East history and geopolitics? I don't know about an expert, but I'm damn good at it. And I'm pretty good at Russia too. And anyone who's been on the show knows that I know Europe and I understand the Middle East fairly well. And this won't be the last time we have this conversation. Let's get to this. I also want to get my wife involved because she's been sitting here so kindly without asking anything. So, Liv.
Yes.
We're going to look at some satellite photos. How does that sound, baby?
Sounds peachy.
Sorry, you went potty, so I took you off the I took you off the thing. So this is Natanz nuclear facility, and this was one of the head fakes that Donald Trump did. Is Natanz was hit several times by the Israeli army, and although not a lot of surface damage, there were a lot of structures hit. And these structures were storage facilities, processing facilities, but these were above ground targets. And Israel hit this several days earlier. What I want you to focus on is this hole right here. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm clicking on it.
Yep.
So this is essentially about 17 feet in diameter. So I want you to consider how big that is. That is almost 2 basketball hoops tall in circumference. Basketball hoop is 10 feet, so it's almost 20 feet. And this is an entry hole that would hit the underground facility of Natanz. Now, I showed you some blueprint maps. This is not an entry point. But I want you to look at a few things. It's not that hard to see, but if you have a phone, you can see that there are general downward circular impressions on this hole. And you can see the roadway, but you can see that this roadway is snuffed out. And then you can see the dark rock and dirt here. That shows you that this roadway and this area collapsed, whatever it went underneath. This was, with this size of a hole, I would say not a singular GBU 57AB, but 2. So this is a massive strike. And here's what we need to understand is that you can't assess something underground without usually seismic You can check topographical indentions and collapses based upon the terrain. You can look at data that was recovered from the last moment that that thing was still squawking, sending feedback, because all that in the nose of the GBU 57, without going into too much, is reinforced and has altimeter, speed, depth, all of the things that you're looking for to send data back, so it can explode effectively when it reaches its overall depth. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the size of the hole, to me, resembles two. So Robin Hooding this, basically the arrow splitting the arrow and going into that hole. And the first GBU would hit its optimal depth based upon size versus mass versus speed and energy, to what depth it would go to minus the resistance that it faced, followed up by with an explosion that would literally loosen and channel a massive pocket. Now, I want you to consider a first bomb goes in and it does a very large job to clear and collapse a very large quadrant, 75, 50 feet across. And then a second bomb comes in and it has the ability to expand with its energy in 360 degrees in a place that's no longer fortified. How big is that explosion going to be? It's going to be huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they can't, if they don't have topographical data, if they don't have eyes on target, if they can't use seismic activity to assess, and they can, the good thing that they can do is rely on the bomb's performance in similar situations. And although deploying the GBU 57 in this live action, although is not something they have done readily, if at all, they have dropped it in testing. And they have dropped it at several different depths versus different types of sediment and fortifications to identify what its performance would be. And that is what you would call empirical data that is precedent. So they can go and say, was it properly executed? Did it follow its channel? Did it strike the right area? And based upon that information as being affirmative, make calculations to how much damage it did. In this case, in this hole, they have topographical data that the entire thing collapsed. That hole and the way that it is funneled towards that hole demonstrates that there was a complete failure and a pocket created that whatever was underneath it is essentially buried. Does that make sense?
Yes. There's
yeah, I saw it.
Used a couple questions. Brian had one and then Dodie just
give me a
had
quick one before we go to the next hole.
You're looking at Dodie's right there.
Dodie says, some people are saying that Iran removed everything before we got there. Can this be true? It's actually not some people, it's Iran. Iran is saying that. They also said they were going to rain holy hellfire on the United States, and the United States was going to face a holy war, and they were going to surrender to Iran any minute now. The Iran military the Iran media is military and state run. It is controlled by the clerics, the shahs, the mullahs. It is 100% propaganda at all times, 24/7. So, of course they said that. But I will tell you this. The satellites that have been designated this are geosynchronous. And what that means is that they are syncretic to the dog. That was a really good change, Ash.
Oh, she's
Ash, that's
lamer.
perfect because I wanted them to zoom in.
She's-
That's a girl. Do it. Don't do it again, God darn it. So when you look at satellites, some satellites revolve around the Earth and have no overall path, that they use small burns to control its overall and retask the satellite to move to a different location. It's very expensive. It's actually cheaper to have a geosynchronous site that focuses on one location at one time. These and many, many other points of interest around the world have geosynchronous birds that are constantly in revolution with their position. If they were mass unloading a few thousand pounds of irradiated uranium, weapons grade, we would know. And not only we know from a visual standpoint and from a keyhole satellite and other satellite programs telling us, we would know because of the radiation that those put off. We also have technology which is reading the rad levels coming out of those. We learned this from Chernobyl. I can't go into a lot of specifics. I'll just tell you that we have the ability to read radiation levels at a very, very small, minute space and have accurate readings. And if you're moving that much enriched uranium that's weapons grade, we would know. And so would many other countries. Do I believe they moved it? No. But even if they did, it's trackable. Ash.
Gotta go around the other way, sweetie.
Ash, come here, baby. Hayden. Go get him. Go get Sissy.
Brian Moody had another question too.
Okay, hold on a
Or
second.
Brian McGuire.
So that's what I'm trying to say is go get the dog. She needs to go out. So that's what I'm trying to say. If they moved enriched uranium, the intelligence apparatus of the United States, IDF, JIP, JA6 and MI6 would know, not JI6, MI6 and JIB would know that this was happening. So is it legitimate? I don't think so. It is a very tall order. And where do you put it? Where do you put it that our basically our Nest satellites can't find? I'm not concerned in any way, shape, or form. And a lot of people are saying, well, they ran to 60. They can make a weapons grade dirty bomb. No, they can't. Not from 60. If they have 90 grade weapons grade uranium, we should be concerned. They don't as of right now. They would have to start spinning that, and the centrifuges would have to start producing that. And there was no indication from human intelligence, radio traffic, electronic, and signals intelligence, which would be based upon the rad levels, that this was happening. Okay? I don't feel nuclear grade uranium is probably one of the most tracked and focused substances on the planet Earth. And if there was any in those areas, good luck getting to it, because whatever got buried in there is probably irradiated till the cows come home. Mel, what's going on, sister?
Just one quick question is, because there was the earthquake that was registered by Forbo a couple of days before all of this fun stuff started, where are the earthquake tapes from? Because those little toys would definitely show up on the little screens and can give some indication as to how far down they got.
Okay, so that's a really good question. So seismic activity is one way to tell. And based upon the reporting that you would have, if you had seismometers or Geiger, not Geiger counters, but Geiger counters is rads. Seismic activity, whatever the system's called. I don't remember what it is at this point. Richter software, Richter scales. So if you had those in place, and those could be 300 miles away, and you just simply, it's just a mathematical equation to figure out how much the energy, which was 300 miles away, and then subtract that distance to get yourself your overall magnitude of the quake. Second, do I think that 5.2 had anything to do with the testing? First of all, a 5.2 to register at that size would have to be a megaton yield explosion. And you would see it and you would know. And so I don't think that was anything. I also know that Iran has like 9,000 earthquakes a year.
No. And that's my point, is they registered that quake at 10 kilometers below the surface by Forbo a few days before, which is a natural occurring earthquake because they have them all the time.
All the time. Yep.
So because the equipment obviously is fairly close or whatever.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So the registration of the GBUs doing their thing should have registered on the Richter scale.
Yeah.
And somebody should have those tapes. And it would be interesting to see at what depth, because that would tell you, because that's
Yes.
what the machine does.
Right.
It tells you the depth. So
Well, that's how they figured out Natanz, because you can see the damage when we do the side by side with Natanz. You can see the collapse clear as day, and I'm showing it to people right now in these indentions, and I'll show them another one. But the surface level damage on Natanz was just brutal. Fordow we'll go into in a second, and yeah, seismic activity would tell you, but there are massive impressions. They hit that thing. Most of the GBUs went into Fordow. Tomahawks took care of Natanz and what is it? Esfahan, because a lot of those infrastructures, those Tomahawks were able to take care of because of the system that you're well aware of that is on with the final approach of the Tomahawk that we can't talk about because it's still top secret.
Exactly.
But that's so real quick, Mel, you're absolutely right. With Fordow, because it's Fordow, right? I don't know why I keep calling it Fordow. Is it Fordow? Fordow is, you're absolutely right. Because there are sensors that were already in place to recognize the earthquake, it would be more of the same. I don't think they need that because the tunnels are showing obvious from imagery analysis. It's showing collapse as well, and I'll show that in a second.
But my point is, like, to the general GQ public, as proof of how far, like, whatever, and to dispel that it only went down 200 feet or 400 feet or whatever, it would say this showed on the Richter scale at what depth there was this odd spike in less than 10, like whatever, and then stopped like real quick, and it would show you on those tapes exactly what it is. So I'm pretty sure that the tapes got confiscated and whatever, and are now like whatever.
That would make sense.
It would be really interesting to show GQ public, who are the disbelievers of the whatever, to show them what showed up on the Richter scale, because as I said, 2 days before the 10 kilometer, they said, 10K below the surface.
Right. I remember
so
that.
So they know it's over 20 miles underneath. So it's like, so show the tapes of that and I'm sure there was at least 6 that went down there. But anyways,
in Fordow it was 6 is my understanding as well.
That was mine too. But it would be interesting, because that would be proof to the general public, not giving out military information or whatever, but it would just show how far the impact. It would also send a message to Russia, China, and all the rest of the idiots around the world. Going, look what we can do.
Well, that's the thing. They all know now the depth of the 57, and that's the thing, is that's not our most powerful GBU as far as a bunker buster. We have others that are. We don't need to go into it, but this told Russia, listen, it comes down to this. The civilian knowledge is that the range of the GBU 57 30,000 pound munition is 200 to 300 feet. That is the non-classified version. Right. And I think if people knew the actual depth, then they would be a little less circumspect about the damage. Mel, I love you, kiddo. Let me let you go so I can answer a couple questions here.
Thanks, Mel.
See you, sister.
Brian,
you betcha.
Brian McGuire had a question. You're gonna have to search it up.
Okay, I will in just a second.
Okay, and then there's another question on YouTube.
Okay, so let me just do this real quick. So people were asking what JIB. JIB is a Joint Intelligence Bureau, but the name of it is actually in Polish, which is the SKK, or the SWW and the SWK, which is the Polish Intelligence Agency. JIB for short is just Joint Intelligence Bureau, because it's a civilian and a military intelligence unit within Poland. So that's to answer the question on what JIB is. It's an IC nickname for instead of going SKW, SW, you're just literally saying JIB. What is up?
Brian had a question a little bit ago, so I figured
I'll get to Brian. I've answered a lot of Brian's questions.
And
I got to keep going.
Rachel Orlando said, if nuclear bunker was hit by the Buster bomb, how did it not blow up like an A bomb with all the nuclear material? That's a good question.
Yeah. So here's the answer to that question. And I'm not a physicist. And I don't know how to take apart a nuclear bomb. And I can't possibly explain from a mathematical probability how nuclear fission takes place based upon the creation or any hypothetical. But what I can tell you is that nuclear fission takes place when you split an atom. And it takes a certain type of explosion, which is uniform and usually is inwards. And that explosion is your primary, and the secondary enhances the explosion, which is the actual splitting of the atom or atoms. The difference between an atom bomb and a hydrogen bomb is the amount of atoms that are split. And then when that atom is split and it goes to an atomic level and explodes based upon the amount of atoms split is what type of yield you get from a megaton variety. So to answer your question, you can hit a nuclear bomb with a bullet and it's not going to go off. The moment you break the integrity, usually when a bomb, the simplistic way is there is a form of shaped explosives that are pushed inward, very much like a claymore from all certain points. And that unbelievable amount of force doesn't simply push the atoms around. It has nowhere to go because it is collapsing with equal force, equal pressure at the exact same time, which ultimately splits the atom. When that takes place, that's when you get an atomic or larger explosion. So to answer your question, a bullet going into a warhead is not going to set off a warhead. If it's dropped, it's not going to. That explosion has to fire, those primers have to fire geosynchronously or synchronously with at the same time in order for that to happen. Now, the one thing that can happen is that there is a level of plutonium and radiation in these, and what you could have because of the enriched uranium and plutonium is that if it leaks, you could have a situation where you would have rads be exposed. And if you have an explosion that is, meant to cause this cataclysmic explosion that kills a shit ton of people, you would have what is known as a dirty bomb or a dirty nuke. And that would explode and irradiate the area based upon spreading the uranium, plutonium, weapons-grade plutonium all the way around. So is it possible that this was encroached upon and some of these centrifuges overall are leaking or leaked? Yes. But the fact that this is, I'm telling you about the civilian number, please don't take it any other way, 200 to 300 feet down, it is a good chance that anything that did or could leak is contained by the amount of earth that collapsed around it, if that makes sense. Yes. So that hole that's made, could it be oozing out rads? Sure. Is it negligible? Sure. Honestly, the surface level of the crust of the earth, solar radiation heats the Earth's crust, hot air rises, cool air descends, creates turbulence. That radiation that is put off the sand, which can literally cook you, and you can cook an egg on, is a very similar situation. Radiation is constantly around us. UV, ultraviolet rays, and solar radiation that heats the Earth's crust bounces off, and that's what gives you your wonderful bronzing during the summer. So radiation is all around us at all times. Is there enough to depopulate a town? No. And this is why you use a GBU for underground locations, is because, yes, it makes it hard to get to, but once you hit it, it makes it hard to get out of at the same time. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It just amazes me that something as small as an atom, when it's split, it makes such a big explosion.
Well, it's the energy. It's the amount of energy that is being dispersed. And it's not one atom that's causing the problem. It is a chain reaction that essentially hyper excites all atoms around it. And once that, it's like mouse traps. You throw one in, you throw a ping pong ball in, one goes off, then 2, then 4, then 8, then 16, then 32, then 60. And it's more than that. It's exponentially, it grows. Well, the same thing with atoms, and the force of the explosion and that cataclysmic trigger based upon the yield of the explosion is that what stops that is that eventually it dissipates the farther away it gets from the mass center of the explosion, and that gives you your atomic yield.
where you might hear that the first bomb was 1,000 sticks of dynamite. Well, now it's like 100,000 or 10 million sticks of dynamite when a hydrogen level bomb. So understand it's not that one atom, it's the chain reaction of atoms hyper exciting outward at a super incredibly fast rate with amount of energy that just continues to have each atom explode. And you're talking about trillions upon trillions, literally hyper exciting and exploding simultaneously in an event that is measured in 1800 degrees Kelvin. So that's why it's so aggressive.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
We got a couple of orders. Christine Clark ordered the book by T.S. Dixon and the assault weapon.
Oh, nice, Christine.
And we also got
that's
Cheryl Brand. No, it was Christine.
Cheryl.
And then Cheryl Brandis ordered the book as well as a Red Friday
Nice.
shirt.
Congratulations on a Red Friday shirt. Nice to see the store doing well, folks. That's awesome. 326.53. We have hit goal. Now, am I 100% accurate in everything I just explained about a nuclear explosion? I'm pretty close, I think, but I don't know everything. But
We need to watch that movie.
But what I do know is I read a lot, and I understand things fairly well. And I think if a nuclear physicist was on right now, they would say you missed a lot, but that's pretty fucking close. And that gives that I'd give you a C+ in my college class, and that's good enough. C+ average. Rachel Orlando says, "Well explained. You sound like a scientist." No, I'm not. I slept at a Holiday Inn Express. All right, so let's get to the rest of this because we want more to do. And you guys have spent a lot of money with us tonight, and I want to give you your full. So this is right here is a smaller hole, and you can see this. And you can see that it's a road because the same indicators from this discoloration, and literally what that is I can explain this and because satellite imagery is my thing, and I wish Leroy was here, but
that's why I'm wondering why you didn't do this tomorrow.
Yeah, because it's important and everybody wants to see it, and obviously it's huge because there's a shit ton of people on. But do you see the discoloration here in this road down here?
We can't see your mouse.
I know. Right here.
There it is. Yep.
And then right here.
Mm-hmm.
But then this road is a dusty, like dry.
Yeah.
Well, that's because when this explosion happened, this took off the top level of dirt from the impact and the concussive force around, that it released wet dirt, because everyone knows when you scrape up a top level of dry sand, eventually you get to darker sand, which is cooler. And if you keep going, you get to water. Well, this is whatever rainfall they do have, which is few and far between, essentially took that topsoil and dispersed it around the area. And you're seeing remnants of soil that is saturated, which is a lot denser and a lot more compact because it's a road being exposed. And you'll see it here.
Where's that?
And you'll see.
Is that the same spot?
No, this is in the northeast. So this is right here.
Oh, okay.
Here's number 1. Here's number 2, magnified.
Okay, got it.
We just enhanced this.
Okay.
So these two craters, I'm telling you right here, this is a single entry point with a backup second. But these are more than likely, this is US made, and I think this is Israeli made.
So is this, which site is this?
This is Natanz.
Okay.
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 All right. So let's jump out of that. Now, a lot of people are flipping out over this. This is Fordow. And everyone's shitting a purple Twinkie, and they're like, oh, do you notice how they colored it blue? They colored it blue in order to make the devastation look worse. Now, this is a monochromatic or a polychromatic photo. And the way that works is the polychromatic or monochromatic is a single color like black and white. And polychromatic is usually 3 or 4 colors that are pronounced. And the reason why you do this is that this creates parity. It helps you distinguish things that are different with the topographical map, but also if there is different elements using a different color filter will make the shades in the dirt or the color temperature of the dirt be more prominent. So that's why these are here. This is actually just the way that the picture is processed. You can see this based upon these roadways, how the color is different in the earth versus the dark sediment and the real hard edges of these mountains. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're also seeing some very different colors here. You see some earth, which is a mineral color, copper.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing a lot of white residue. Well, these are entry points, and it looks like something out of Tremor. Well, these are most assuredly, I can tell you officially, GBU 57s by the diameters of the holes. These are 3 munition entry holes. And then above, you're also seeing an additional 3 entry holes here. And what these are designed to do is that these are entry points into the mountain itself, more than likely. And with these collapsed and closed, you're not getting in. But simultaneously, not just entry point, they're more than likely hitting power centers or storage centers inside the mountain itself. Those secondary and primary auxiliary and primary electrical units that power the facility. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So that's what these are showing. And you can see that down here, these are the entry points. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And these go in, and these down here are designed to hit the underground facility itself. And then you can see here and here that there were hits and strikes on these with singular entry points that are the tunnels. So these were probably hit with a smaller yield, but this could also be combined with tomahawks. Tomahawks can literally, I can't go into specifics, but I can tell you a tomahawk can fly nape of the earth and have no problem acquiring a entry point, an egress point, and enter it. That's all I can say. The targeting systems for these are incredibly accurate. Within 2 or 3 centimeters of its original target is what I can say. Tomahawks are extremely accurate. So that's it.
So
yes.
I thought
yes.
only in
no, you're right.
I thought only in Fort Howe that they only hit the tunnels, the entry point tunnels. Because that's 2 different places that got hit.
That's correct. There's 4 different places that got hit.
Well, 4 different, yeah.
Based upon what I'm seeing here, this area here is hitting the facility. These are entry points and facility. You don't need 3. You don't need 3 strikes to hit the tunnel. You understand what I'm saying? And just because this is the entry point, Mel said it best. Below that, deeper are probably the primary and auxiliary power of the actual facility. So if you see multiple points, because if we go back to Natanz, you can see that they're going into the earth, not just the entry points.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. James says, what's Iran's power source? Oil, hydropower? Well, it is a nuclear facility, so it's more than likely some sort of power center that I don't think it would be hydro. So I don't know the answer to the question. Do they know if anyone was inside the unit when it was struck? Cheryl, that's a great question. According to Iran, they say they exited people out. I can't believe that there would be some form of security. Sandra Edwards, get this one. Will you?
It said rounding up, donated 1567. Thank you very much, Sandra. Appreciate that.
Don says, Matt, do you still think they had military or workers there or evacuated prior? Do I believe that it was evacuated? No. I would be shocked. Why would Iran abandon a facility that they felt was fully protectable and would not get hurt? They had all belief that their system was impenetrable. See, so you can see that the tunnel entrances are above. And then you also could have entry holes here. I think these are facility. I don't believe these are entrances. There's no roadways. These, in my opinion, and I think Mel would agree with me, I think those are not HVAC, but what do you call them? Oh my God. Why am I drawing a blank? Ventilation.
Yeah, ventilation. There you go.
Those look like ventilation entry points to me. And I think that's where they hit them.
Got it.
And that would make sense because ventilation points are going to be on the lowest point of the mountain in case of nuclear strike. So those are probably ventilation shafts that go and supply the heat exhaust for the energy producing generators inside the mountain. And then these are your entry points into the mountain.
James Cody had a question. What's Iran's main power source? Is it nuclear or is it whatever? Oil? What is it?
It's a great question. It's probably going to be oil of some sort. We can look it up and find out for you, though. Will you look it up?
Yep.
Russia said they evacuated their scientists there 2 days before. Yeah. Listen, there's no doubt that they probably minimally. Yeah, HVAC and ventilation. Yeah, Mel and I are in agreement. Listen, did they get some out? I believe they did. There's no doubt in my mind. But do I believe it was completely abandoned? I would be shocked. Do you understand what you could do and what catastrophe you could have? Go ahead.
Okay, so it is natural
I knew
gas.
that it's natural gas.
Natural
okay.
gas is 81%, oil is 14%, hydropower 4%, and nuclear power 1%.
Yeah. So very, very few nuclear power. So yeah. So you're talking natural gas and oil energy. It makes sense. So that's Fordow.
And which one? So Fordow was the one that was completely destroyed. Which one was they were saying was the hardest one that they were going to have the hardest time?
That's our next one.
Isfahan?
That's Isfahan.
Okay.
The fact that you can pronounce that properly, I'm so proud of you.
Is it Isfahan or Isfahan?
Some people say Isfahan, and it's Isfahan.
Okay.
So this is a satellite person's wet dream. So I can give you previous strikes here, and you can tell by the darkness of the earth. When something burns out, it's pretty much all black. Yeah, Mel said absolutely not empty at the side. I would be shocked if it was. I don't believe it was empty. I believe they had military personnel there, and I believe that they probably had people trying to exfil some of that at the point of impact. They were completely taken by surprise. Their radar systems had no idea. China and Russia, I would be shocked if they caught our B-2s. There was no contradictory evidence of our B-2s. I didn't even let them. Remember when I told you guys about the B-2s? What did I say? I said they flew to the East Coast and then they went dark. Didn't I say that?
Mm-hmm.
The moment that they went dark, they went right to Tehran. And I tried to tell you that because I said that B-2s were already at Diego Garcia. Didn't I tell you that too?
Yes, you did.
So having 6 fly to there, and I also told you that they moved B-2s out of Diego Garcia because of hypersonic missiles and the possibility of the Houthis having some sort of attack down into from Yemen into Diego Garcia. So for them to put the B-2s back to Diego Garcia, it struck me as strange, and I tried to allude to that on the show as much as I could. But I'm also not going to sit there and put our boys at risk. Not that somebody would be watching our show, but I'm not going to do that shit. But that is why I told you there will be an attack. If you remember on that show, I said 2 weeks, but I believe this is a head fake, and I would expect something this weekend as early as Saturday. Do you remember me saying that on the show? There's your answer, and got that prediction pretty fucking accurate, I will say myself.
Now, I don't know if this is something you can answer, But on Fox News, they were saying it was 18 hours to Iran, so a total of 37 hours.
37 back because of
back.
headwind.
So I would assume it's not one pilot flying that whole way.
I can explain that I can answer these questions. Yeah, that's easy.
Okay.
So first of all, you have headwind and tailwind. And when you have headwind, you're flying against the stream. And when you have tailwind, it's helping push you. So you will make up more time going one direction than the other. So you might, it's 17.
I get that. I was wondering how many pilots.
I'm going to answer that question.
Okay, gotcha.
But it also helps understand is that the flight there is very different than the flight back.
Yeah.
So to help you understand that, the time differentials and shifts might seem like a very long flight, but a lot of these pilots can go 12 hours. So that helps understand.
Yeah.
Each plane has 2 pilots. They have a command crew aboard as well, which is a command crew is on before pre-board. So they can take seat time and rotate through. But you have essentially 2 seats on the B2. Now, if we look at the schematics of a B2, I'll show you something.
Okay.
Now, the thing about a B2 is that its design is essentially to do one of 2 things: to carry fuel and carry a shit ton of bombs. It is not enough fuel to fly 37 hours straight. I will explain that to you as well. But let's look at this first. So essentially, it's a flying gas can. You have your engine, which is in the main fuselage.
Okay.
This right here is going to be your main flight refueler. So this actually is used for KC-135s or KC-46s refuelers, and they will fly underneath simultaneously, and guide on, which is predominantly by computer, to lock into a refueler and refuel in flight. The tanks are all along the wing. Here and here is
those are the fuel tanks?
Yeah, these are the fuel cells here. Okay. Bomb and munitions is actually carried under the bay here.
Okay.
You're going to have all your avionics, surprisingly enough, all in the nose and all along the back side. So avionics is going to be in the nose and all along here. You're going to have air intake, and then throughout this entire shell, you're going to have something called RAM, radar absorbent material. And this is what makes the thing stealthy besides its profile. And this is all in class, folks. None of this is classified, what I'm showing you. It's all unclassified. So what's interesting is on the outer edge of this is your nav antennas. So a lot of your radar warnings and everything else is in the back of the plane. And then your channel exhaust and diffuser and all that is right back here.
How big is this thing?
1,500 overall feet, I think, combined. As far
1,500 square feet?
Not square, but overall, it's not, because it's not square.
Well,
but
yeah.
I'll give you an exact number here in a minute. So your pilot A, pilot B here. And then you have here, which is a non-electromagnetic reflective windshield, which makes it extremely resistant to, this is the weakest part of the plane as far as a radar signature. And by using this type of material, it makes it extremely difficult to bounce back to the receiver of whatever radar it's pinging off. Most of these signals actually will travel around, where most signal will bounce back, where the radar will pick that up, or will go straight up or straight down. The fact that this literally, it looks like to a radar that it passes right through it based upon its profile. And it's so sleek and so small. So it cuts through the radar signature and makes it essentially a ghost. The only way you can really get this thing on radar is how? Think about that, Liv. How can you get this on radar when it does one thing? What would it be? If its profile is like a knife and radar signature goes around it, what would change that aspect in flight? When it does what?
I have no idea.
When it turns.
Oh.
So whenever this thing turns, it turns like a fucking Titanic. It is not the most aerodynamic thing because of its profile. Its lift, its drag coefficient is all strong. But when it makes a turn or changes its overall course, it can be picked up, but it's usually in a small blurb. They will go in and out of radar, if at all. And it's got to be a really good system. So these things are extremely expensive. They're upwards of $2.25 billion. They are ungodly amazing, and they were designed. The F-111. F-111 was General Dynamics bomber, and the B-1B bomber. So the F-111 was a small range, and a small range, medium-sized bomber, and then the B-2, the B-1B was the Lancer, and that thing fucking crashed all the time. Also beautiful. And then the B-52, they wanted a stealth aircraft that could get in and out like the F-117 Nighthawk, and then this was born. So 2 people. And why don't they have 3? Because there's not really any room for 3.
Where's the crew sit? Because you said
In
there was
seat
2,
A and seat B.
and you said there was also a crew.
Now the crew is pre-board. So every B-2 has a crew, an armament crew, an avionics crew, an electronics crew, and they are at the station of landing and recovery. So what I'm saying is that they have a specific flight crew which work with these B-2s, and they are exclusive. They stay on the ground.
Okay, so basically one pilot flies, the other one sleeps.
Correct.
Got it.
That's it.
Got it. Thank you.
What is its max speed? None of your fucking business. I don't want to go.
There are some things I'm not going to.
No, but I guarantee Mel. Mel says right after, not telling. Yeah, we can't tell you that. I can tell you the unclassified version of its speed. I can tell you its maximum altitude. The unclassified version, but I can't tell you what its real speed is, and I can't tell you what its altitude. I can't tell you how many G's this thing can pull. I can't tell you what systems it has on for countermeasures. I can't tell you any of that stuff. All I can tell you is that this is the very basic of what this thing can do, and it is a fucking badass. This is the most lethal bomber on the planet. And I will let you know the engines that are in here are actually the same engines that were on the F-111. Mr. Holland's on 3140. The new studio reminds me of Field of Dreams quote, "If they build it, they will come, and new followers are coming. Keep it up." They sure are. We've got almost 300 people on, 166 on Twitter, 76 and 24 respectively. Top speed, listen. Okay, can I just Missouri, Tehran, 18 hours. Do the math. And that's still not its top speed. And I can tell you, it can be anywhere in the world. No, I can't tell you that.
Nope.
Can't tell you that. I'm not going to tell you shit. I'm going to just tell you that this thing is a beast. Okay? I hope that helps.
Yes.
Matt, I always thought it had a cot. I'm pretty confident it's got some sort of sleeping arrangements beside a seat. It's probably got a hot cot in there or something to that effect. It's got some sleeping arrangements for.
Don't say it if you're.
No. Both pilots can sleep at the same time. They really wanted to. Is it in the mock? No. I can say that. It's no.
Your kitty wants you. Trying to jump on your lap.
No, I don't want her.
She might want out. I think they like she likes the new bed. She was sleeping on her back again.
Oh, was she?
Yeah. Here, I'll send you that picture so you can put it up.
Yeah. So I just wanted to tell you. No, Mel, I can say that. I can say that. It does not go Mach. That is not classic. There's just no fucking way. It does not go supersonic. No. Not with that. No. If you want it to tear apart and crash, you can go supersonic. But you can figure out the speed based upon the information that you have readily available that's unclassed, but I'm not going to tell you about it. I can just tell you the unclassed version. Unclassed version is like 628 miles an hour. That's the unclassed version. And I can say that. I can't say anything else. Folks, do you understand how fun this shit is? I love this shit. I live for this shit. It cannot do Mach. It cannot do Mach. I'm telling you right now, that is bullshit. The B2 cannot go Mach. No. It does not break the sound barrier. No, no, no. Never. Frederick said 24 hours in any place. With where we have them stationed? Yes. Anyone hear about a current evacuation at the White House? No. I've heard that there are bomb threats, and it was on lockdown several times today.
I'm pretty sure.
All right, let's finish this because this is a fun show. So,
Matt, you should have joined the Air Force.
why the fuck would I want to join the Air Force? Naval intel was the shit. Who said that?
That was Joseph Hillstream.
Yeah, and also, yeah, the payload is lighter when it comes back too, of course. Yep.
Stop.
Matt, you should have joined the Air Force. Yeah, probably don't need to be if invisible. Well, that's the thing. Speed is, but see, here's the thing: is I can't. Mel's like, don't say it, but you could. The electronic countermeasures that this thing has to avoid missiles. Listen, you don't get the U-2 spy plane and the SR-71 up and only get shot down once if you don't understand how to beat Russian missiles. And you know, SAs and S systems. Yeah. You can't target lock this fucker. It's just not designed that way. If I told you it's max altitude, you'd be like, there's no fucking way. It's deceptively simple how it works. It just literally allows the radar signal to go around, and it doesn't create enough of a pocket signature to identify it. It's a knife. It is so thin. If you've ever seen one in close, you'll be like, whoa. But then you look at it from the front, you're like, I see the top, I see the bottom, I see the top, I see the bottom. It is fucking thin. Yeah, we talked about sleeper cells. I love our military aircraft. Still wish we had the F-14 Tomcats in service. Well, a lot of people, Iranians have the F-14. Well, they did. Iranians had F-14s. They're gone now. No, Matt, you should have joined the Marines. No, my dad was a Marine. Fuck that. Matt, you should have been a co-pilot. I wanted to be a pilot. I didn't have the math. I just didn't have the math. All right, so let's finish up. And we'll do more with Leroy. So you can tell that a lot of these darkened areas, that there's massive like charcoal residue. But you also see secondary burns in some of these areas. But these are designated, the solids are pre-strikes, pre-IDF strikes 1 and 2. Any of the new stuff are the solid yellow. And this is Esfahan, and they fucking obliterated Esfahan. They hit storage units, they hit IRGC barracks. Esfahan had a very large IRGC presence because the reason why is going through the straits was the best way for IRGC to get into Syria. So the IRGC essentially had an amphibious base right here in Esfahan, even though it's fairly land locked. It's the closest thing to the shore. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Greg said what? We're sitting next to each other? What?
Oh, he was like, it just took me a while to figure out that this is split screen. I thought they were sitting next to each other. I'm like, we are sitting next to each other.
Yeah, we are sitting next to each other, but this is our wide angle, and then this is our split screens. So we've got multiple cameras now. We've got 6 cameras in here. So it sees, the cameras see everything. All right. And then can I show this? Yes. This was released. I couldn't show this yesterday, but I can show it today. So this is Natanz, and it shows the hits that we were just showing here. This right here is centrifuges with electrical rooms. Remember how I told you this is where those explosions took place?
Mhm.
So those were into the ground. And your entry points are here and here. This is a control structure and power transformer, surface level power for these. But this right here is the underground space, and it's a multi-story underground. And this is where the centrifuges and electrical rooms were at. So you wanted to hit them. Why am I doing, what am I clicking? You're showing me a picture, Liv?
Oh, the cat. It was the cat sleeping when we were talking about it.
Well, if you send me something, I'm going to show it.
I did.
Okay. I don't want to tell you what I said earlier and show that text.
Yeah, we don't want to.
That's not my fault. You're the one who started talking about it. All right. So here is Yenny.
She's starting to sleep like that with her tummy up. Hilarious.
Paul says, Matt, this was the Tomahawk strike, right? Yeah. See, understand this is they had 30 Tomahawks that went in. Or I really can't say anymore.
Jeff said, I've heard that is to take off without a full load of fuel when it has a full load of munitions.
Yeah, that's right. Paul, let me answer your question. And let's do a hypothetical. Let's say the IDF already used bunker busters in Esfahan. Is that fair to say?
Mm-hmm.
Which means that there would be pilot holes in the ground reaching a certain depth. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
And if a Tomahawk has laser precision, you could put a Tomahawk into one of those holes. Is that fair to say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, there's another question.
And if there was a version of a Tomahawk that had a high enough yield, and was a new type of Tomahawk that could penetrate a little more effectively than a standard Tomahawk, that would be a cool weapon, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's that Paul, gleam from that what you will. Matt, have you seen the B-2 stealth bomber RC? It has an 8-foot wingspan. I have. Oh, you wanted to know the size. So
the fueling, and then there's a question.
Okay.
Something about the fueling midair.
Okay, what's the question?
It was, I watched the briefing after the strikes. They said they used 30-ton bunker busters followed by 45-ton bunker busters. What's the difference? Do you know, or can you expand?
I cannot speak on 45-ton bunker busters because they don't exist. Where did you hear this information?
He said he watched the briefing.
Who?
Brian McGuire.
Who? What ones? I'm not gonna. If somebody said that, I can neither confirm or deny that information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if some fucking asshole said that, I'm not gonna. I have been telling you for 3 days that there are others besides the GBU-57 that the United States has, and that's why I told you reaching those depths would be no problem. Because, but I can either confirm or deny if there's a 45,000-pound GBU. I can't. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Who briefed that, Brian?
I don't know.
It had to be some fucking Air Force guy. So just to give you an idea, Liv.
Yes.
And I want to give you the full schematics here of the B2 and the sheer. It was Crane. Okay, well he has a higher clearance than I do, and I'm not saying that I'm not aware of a 45,000. I'm saying I can either confirm or deny a 45. Listen, the GBU 57 is the largest bunker buster that is unclassified that the United States military has. That's it. The B2 Spirit has a wingspan of 172 feet, 69 feet length. It's 17 feet tall. It's capable of carrying 40,000 pounds. That's a lie. I'm just letting you know. That's a fucking lie. The bomber is designed for stealth, and its range is approximately 6,000 nautical miles. Okay.
Okay.
40,000 pounds is a blatant lie. That's the unclassed version. Listen, you have information now that it's actually they're releasing information that tells you that that's not true. If each B2 carried 30,000 pounds, then 40,000 isn't its maximum payload, is it? Can we just figure that out? It is massive. This thing is like the size of World War II boats. The B2 is massive. It's gorgeous. Real quick, I'll show you a size comparison chart. You guys are helping us out. If folks, donations, if you have not had a chance, now's the time. It would help us out greatly. So just to give you guys some perspective, just so you know how big the Spirit is, this will help you understand. This is in relation to an F-35, an F-22, and F-117. And although you're like, well, that's not that big, it's not that it's massive in its size, that it's just overwhelming. It's that it flies big. It takes up space.
Hey, go back to that. I didn't quite see it. Got it.
It takes up a shit ton.
What?
Love you.
I thought you were going to your friend's house.
Marley came here. She left around like 9.
Okay, if there's one AI site builder you need to meet, it's this dope tech from Wix.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel.
What a name.
The Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit. Known as the stealth bomber, this American heavy strategic bomber epitomizes low observable stealth technology designed to penetrate formidable anti-aircraft defenses.
One of my favorite planes. I love this fucking
cool
thing.
The B-2, a subsonic flying wing with a two-person crew,
Subsonic, told
emerged
you.
from Northrop's innovative design and was produced from 1987 to 2000.
Looks like a frickin' chicken hawk.
Its unique capability to carry a mix of conventional and thermonuclear weapons, including up to 8,500-pound Mk-82 JDAM GPS-guided bombs or 16 2,400-pound B-83 nuclear bombs, sets it apart. Following the Soviet Union's dissolution, the B-2's role expanded to include conventional precision attacks, featuring a sophisticated GPS-aided targeting system and the capability to deploy a variety of ordnance. Notably,
how long does it take?
All right, that's enough of that shit. So, needless to say, B-2 is a badass. Now, how did they? What's its range? Well, they did not. It did not get there on single fuels. The KC-46s and the KC 135s accompanied, and they would take off from various bases. I'm not going to get into specifics. I will just tell you that it was a joint effort that Ramstein CENTCOM, Eastern areas, all assisted with refueling of these B2s, if that helps you. There were, I believe, 6 refuelings because they were burning fuel at a rapid rate because of their weight and the speed that they were flying, which I can't go into. So they were going full tilt to get there. In that situation, it's the element of surprise, and they had escorts the entire way. But the escorts, you have to think about this. The escorts are not invisible to radar. So the escorts have to be done in a very principled way so they're not picked up. And refueling has to be done in a certain way where it's not picked up. And I cannot say anything about that process of how foreign intelligence did not pick up a refueler refueling a B2. I cannot go into that. I know how it's done. I can't fucking tell you how. But I can just tell you that the U.S. technology is incredible. And its ability to fool foreign radar is also incredible. They stopped in Hawaii? No, that would have been the wrong way. They went that way. They went east. They didn't go west. They didn't stop in Hawaii. So I can tell you, like I said, Ramstein, CENTCOM, and Eastern Seaboard and some other areas helped to do refueling. If that makes sense.
Would they have gone over the Atlantic or the Arctic? I would assume it would just be the Atlantic.
It's the Atlantic. They went over the Atlantic. And in order, and once again, with the timeline that you have, you can figure out which way they. If you want to cross the street and not get seen by a cop, you don't walk where no one else is crossing. Is that fair to say?
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to get across the street and you don't want to be seen, you get into Mardi Gras size traffic and then the cop won't see you. Is that fair to say?
Yep.
Use the information I just gave you and figured out how they would be unseen in a refueling situation. Do the math.
Yep.
Got it?
Got it.
And then you can figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Other than that, see if there's anything else we have, and then we got to go. Do we have any more donations for a show like that?
No.
We didn't break 400?
We had a lot of orders, though, which is cool.
Yeah, but that was a wicked-ass show. That was a good show. That show should have
Mm-hmm.
broken 400.
It's okay.
That
We
is
did great.
that is so much information.
374 is good.
All right.
Take it.
You just want to go.
Yeah, I have to get up super early for work tomorrow.
All right. So folks, okay, I got to show you one more thing. Or then we can go. Is that okay? This is important. I want to show you the missile intercepts from angles you have not seen. There is going to be some language here, but this is from, I'm pretty sure most of you haven't seen this. This is ground level. Right turn, Clyde. This is from ground level from the troops who were in Qatar when the medium range missiles came in from Iran. This is cool. And I've got 2 videos to show. They're very, very quick, and then we'll get her off.
They're saying run.
There's some language here.
That's
Hell
us.
yeah. That's us. Hell yeah, that's
Fuck yeah! Birds away!
All right. So here's let me give you some understanding. The brighter the missile is that's going away from you, that means it's good guys. Okay? So the ones you can hardly see, those are bad guys. And that's how you tell. They're moving away from you and they're bright. That means that those are good missiles. And the ones that are far away are bad. All right, let's go ahead and watch that. It's bright because you can see the back of it.
Oh, fuck. Hey! Hey! Splash! Splash! Splash!
They did their job.
Oh, they they fucking dominated.
Suck on my red, white, and blue dick.
And they sent up redundancies. Look at them. Just
That was pretty. I don't know if anyone heard that comment, but I did. I thought it was funny.
okay. So there's that one, and I thought that was cool. Now this I would be shocked if anyone saw this. In fact, I'm covering the source because I can't believe I'm going to use this source. This came from RT, which is a Russian propaganda site.
Why are you using?
Because it's a good video and it's accurate and it's true.
Okay.
But I hate RT. But anyway, this is the salvo that came out of our defense rockets, and this is super up close, so you know how insane this is. These interceptors. Watch this.
I don't think anyone's asleep again.
Look at those things go to work. I got an absolute boner. Fuck it. I'm not gonna lie. That just, dude, every military guy in the channel is like, fuck yeah! It's so cool. Oh, that's awesome. All right, folks. I wanted to hit 4, but we'll take that. Olivia's exhausted. She's tired. That was a hell of a good show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was a fun one. Olivia, take your sign off here.
Sorry, dealing with some stuff.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, unfortunately, the way Facebook works is you can be about to comment on something, and all of a sudden it'll just pop up like 4 more things, and you don't realize it, and you hit. So every once in a while, when we're trying to ban the spammers, good people get banned.
Who got banned?
JD Stillwell tonight, and then somebody I think maybe Saturday. I've got the name. Amy sent me the information.
I can fix it. I can fix it right after the show.
So he can watch, he just can't comment. So
Well, that's okay, JD.
yeah, so Amy got a hold of me and sent me the name, so I figured we could do that afterwards.
Yeah, I fucking love, I love America. I love my country. I love my country more than anything else in the whole world, y'all. And when I see us execute and I see our military, I'm so proud. I'm so proud. And it just, we've screwed up so much. To see the Intel boys get it right and to snoop in there and get out and to see our bases defend, it just makes me happy. And I love it when our military, I love it when a plan comes together, you know? Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. So I'm pretty excited. All right, we'll follow this up. Jeff Olive on 2728. Okay, I'll push you over 400. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, I think tonight was a good show.
It was a great show.
This is one, if you're listening on the podcast, get off the damn podcast, go find us on Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, and watch this, because this was a good show. Like, we have these, it's like when military shit happens, it's just fun. Just fun, 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 fun.
Fun, 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 fun. Front seat.
Back seat, which seat shall I take? It's Friday. Excuse me. I had to do that. I drank too much of my shake.
You got a donation. I'd like to read that one.
Silence! I kill you!
Mr. Holiday Sauce, 2650.
Part due.
Part due.
Because he donated twice.
Tonight's show earned at 2650. That's 427.38. You know what? We'll call Full Joy.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. We
Very
appreciate you.
much.
We love you. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Go enjoy it. Have a good night. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Leroy and I will be on. Can't wait to have Leroy on. Somebody remind me
It's going to be a very, very knowledgeable show. So if anyone's ready to get your notebooks and your pens, because you're going to need to take notes, because these two talking about it, yeah,
I'm
you're gonna
excited.
learn a lot.
All right.
This is like freaking a kids and candy store for these two.
Yeah, well, you did awesome tonight. You assisted, you asked good questions, and you held down the chat. So I love you for it. You did a great job. Thank you, everybody, for taking care of us. We love you guys. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow, 7 o'clock. We'll have a video in the morning. Going to be doing that every morning. We're going to start getting some news back up here, but let's rock and roll. Thanks for taking care of us. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe. Pound that like button. and make sure you do it on the video outside of the video. That helps get this thing seen and gets it out there. I'm sure this one has no problem. This was 200 on Twitter. I think we had almost 100 on YouTube. Still have 25 on several others. So we're doing fine. All right, we're getting out of here. Good night. Love you. See ya.
Night, y'all.
Bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election.
Oh, go vote for Still Point. Go vote. TopHitmaker.org 2025. Nick-Tater. Nick, let me know when we get close that I need to put it up on the main site.
Unfiltered. We can agree. We can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.